Hello guys. Well, it looks like Anna is taking us on a trip. And finally we're here. Good morning. Yeah, I started the stream as soon as it went live, so. And there's some pictures taken of Anna's opponent. So, yeah. Anna is playing Zach Cansdale from England. The white pieces today. We are a little bit late, I would say, because it's already 9 o'clock in Iceland. But we can see that they're about to start. Ludwig is is Anna-Maja's editor. Also Anna Cranling's editor, I believe, and he's well known in a lot of communities. Ludwig de Large. So Anna's finally made it to her board, and clocks are started. So yeah, let's all wish good luck to our streamer. This is fixing the pieces. E4 has been played, and let's see what the opponent goes for. He goes for the Caro-Kann. So we did expect it. We did expect that. Anna's opponent basically plays c6, d5 setups against pretty much everything. d4 and d5. Okay, so normal Caro-Kann, and she goes for f3. So this is basically the same variation that happened in the first round. I don't see the moves on the chess.com board yet, by the way, so I don't know. Okay, I will go to the other scene. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can adjust this so we can see our streamer. So he's writing down the moves, and he goes for the move e6. So we have okay, let me make the moves here. e4, c6, d4, d5, f3, and e6. So if you remember, if you were here for the first round, Anna's opponent there took on e4, f takes e4, and she played e5, and that is the main line. Anna won a very beautiful game in just 20 moves. But this is a different line. Black is basically playing e6 early, so this might actually transpose to a French defense. In fact, I think the main line here is transposing to a Steinitz French, which is after e5, I believe c5 or something. No, actually black goes knight f6 there. Yeah, so maybe not. I there is some transpositions to the French. I'm a bit unsure how exactly it goes, but a lot of the times, yeah, if a knight appears on f6, you go e5, knight d7, and then f4. But I'm not sure if e5 is the best move. Maybe something like knight c3 could be considered here. Do I have my morning coffee? I don't really drink coffee, so no, is the answer. Never play f3. I mean, she did play f3 during the first round. It did work for her, so we're happy to see this move. Knight c3. Yeah, it doesn't look like they changed anything in the board. So yesterday, GM Hammer, who is commentating for the Border Sisters, he said that today they will change the board so that there wouldn't be any delay, but it doesn't look like they did that. Bishop b4 by Anna's opponent. So this might go into some kind of win over French. The thing is, Black is losing a move by playing c6. In the French, usually you put the pawn on c5, but also the white pawn on f3 doesn't really make much sense in the French structure. Usually there are some lines where you would put that pawn on f4, but yeah, in this kind of structure, it doesn't really make much sense to have a pawn on f3. It's not like Black's gonna take here, right? So, although in some cases it might be helpful, because let's say that Black plays some kind of winover that is characterized by this pin. And this pin usually is like aimed against this e4 pawn, but this e4 pawn is not protected, so maybe this f3 move is not so bad. I don't know, but this looks already like some strange games. I don't have much. I've never seen this position before already, and we're in move 5, so I think that both players will be quite out of theory here, quite early. So we might see them thinking from the start of the game. So that is good. Oh no, the French. Hello, Jim Solver. Welcome. Good morning. Yeah, Zach is rated 1951. It's okay. I mean, Anna's been facing these 1900 opponents. She already faced basically 3 of them and 1 GM, and this is the 4th. So I read that Hammer said something about live PGNs. I could guess that won't happen on CSGO events, but somewhere else. Oh, maybe, yeah. Maybe it's some other server. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe some other site has live boards. Hello, Vlad. Good morning. It's a fantasy variation. Black played e6. We went knight c3, bishop b4. So it's a kind of hybrid between the Caro and French. Can you move a little to the right and turn towards the right? You can make it look like your head is zags. That would be funny. Just go knight ge2, bishop e3, queen d3, and long castle. Long castle, okay. Yeah, long castle actually might be a plan here, especially since we played f3. But yeah, I mean the position is quite closed, so I guess we can choose between different ways of developing our pieces. Bishop d2 is main move, says GM Solver. And knight ge2 is an old line. Okay, but Anna goes for the move bishop to f4. So perhaps she wants to be a little bit more active with this bishop. And her opponent quickly goes for, I think, knight to e7. Yeah, I think that's what he played. So he's moving the knight here. So he doesn't want to go to f6, I guess, because that would allow for some kind of tempo move. This is an interesting position. Is this Zach person a famous streamer? No. Zach is... You're probably confusing him with Zach the chess nerd, who is another guy named Zach. His name is Zachary Sane, and he's from Canada. So Zach has a lot of fans. I see some people predicting for him and saying go Zach. Maybe his friends. Welcome guys. Knight G E7 is theory. There is no knight G E7 because your other knight is on B8. There is only one knight that can go to E7. Bishop F4 is also a move. I'll come back when the position clarifies. Zach will probably go B6, Bishop A6. That actually is a common plan in some French structures, right? To get rid of the bad bishop on C8. So yeah, this is a good plan, I guess, for black. And this is an interesting position here. Like I believe that Anna doesn't really have like much experience in this position. That's my guess. So she needs to figure out where to put the pieces, basically. So if we castle on the queen side here, right? So let's say we go something like queen d2 and long castle. Then yeah, as Montag, I don't know how there's a 0, but yeah, Mr. Montag is saying, yeah, black could play b5 and start a queenside attack quite early because the center is quite closed. So yeah, so this is an interesting position because first of all we have to figure out where to put our king and of course where to put our pieces and what to go for, because it looks like black is the one who is, you know, having the pawn breaks here. So black could go for some c5 ideas. Of course, as long as we have still the pawn on e4, we also can open the position with some e takes d5. Montague? Really? Okay, I don't know. So Anna is putting this knight on e2. So knight g to e2, defending the other knight. Makes sense, right? Because black might have also gone for some bishop takes e3, intending to double Anna's pawns. So knight g2 prevents that. Bishop on f1 is feeling a bit sad, but that might be good because that also prevents black from going b6, bishop a6 and trading off the bishops. So if he wants to do that now, he probably will be settling for trading it for a knight, which might not be so good. So knight e2, I like. It's a good move, I think. Knight g6, yeah, that might be the idea. Otherwise, why would you put the knight on e7? And yeah, black is probably going to castle sword. So a lot of plans, a lot of ideas. They probably will transpose to each other at some point. This is a position where I feel like, you know, move order accuracy doesn't really matter as much. Position is closed. No side seems to be attacking very early. I don't think there are many games played in the database from these positions. So yeah, both players will be on their own quite early if they are not already. So yeah, Tanya looks very different. Yeah, I don't know what they did with these boards up top of the screen. I guess it's just a random board now that is on the streamers area. So whoever is lucky to play there also gets featured in our stream, I guess. Maybe we can have a friend of the stream playing there, like maybe Rinked could reach that board, or Nordi, or someone else. But yeah. Okay, let me open YouTube chat. For some reason my phone doesn't work. That's because I was tabbed out. Okay. Let's go. Okay, hello to people on YouTube. Murray Bills, I see, and Tip Kich saying good luck to Anna. Good morning. I went for rings above. Yeah, because he has more points. So I don't know what board is that, but since Tanya was playing there yesterday, I guess you need to have good amount of points to go to this board. So I'm guessing it's one of the higher boards. Hello, Blue Boy. Welcome. Good evening, I guess, for you. I don't think it's board 46. I'm not sure what number board it is. Because Rinked is playing in board 46. And he's playing against International Master Benjamin Haldorsson from Norway. So it's going to be a tough game for him. But we hope that he has a good game. He has the white pieces. So, I mean, he did draw a GM with the white pieces. I guess he's quite strong with them, so you never know. Okay, so Zach is taking his time here. He's probably, as I said, he's probably on his own. He probably realized if he saw Anna's game 1, I mean, it was on a live board and we had a video recap of it, so I guess he figured out that that Anna was going to reply to the Caro-Kann with his F3 move. This is called the fantasy variation, if I didn't mention that. And he probably looked a little bit, I guess, at what to do against it, but it's hard to look what to do against everything white can do, right? Because I'm guessing that Anna wouldn't have many games against this e6, perhaps even no games. So maybe his preparation ended with this move. And it's more about planning than it is about concrete moves, I would say, in this position. So yeah. Okay, and we do have the board, the timers starting. So it doesn't seem all that different from yesterday. So it does seem that the clocks are 15 minutes late, as it has been the case for the entire stream, for the entire tournament, basically. Okay, so Zach is making a move. He's going for knight g6, which is attacking the bishop on f4. My guess is that the bishop pair is quite useful here, so pulling back to g3 definitely looks like a good option, I would say. Bishop f1 stays there for until g4 and knight g3, and likely goes to d3. Okay. So Vlad wants to do some kind of English attack, I would say, plan. So maybe, Vlad, you would play bishop to e3 here. Yeah, maybe that is also a consideration. Maybe that's also a consideration. She does pull back to g3 though, so yeah. Because now, okay, g3 feels more natural because we're controlling kind of the knight. This is another technique of controlling knights. So knight h4, for instance, yeah, of course, yeah, but we are blocking this g pawn. So if we are going for a kingside attack, then we're a little bit slower with the bishop on g3. So maybe if we were going to go for some crazy attack on the kingside, then bishop e3 would make more sense. Of course, I mean, maybe she's just keeping her cards open. Um, and yeah, there is also an idea of h4, h5, which actually makes sense because that would pull the knight back and also gain a lot of tempi for the attack. If it's, but okay, still, I mean, we still have to develop a little bit more, I think. First, like, pull our king out of the center, move our queen, perhaps go short castles, and yeah. So Mr. Ontaji, or however is pronounced, I'm sorry for butchering that name, says that after bishop g3, d takes e4 is the only move in the database. D takes e4 I don't quite like here. I mean, it clarifies the situation in the center, but we do get these two central pawns that are, you know, the pride and joy of white's position in the fantasy Caro-Kann. If black can go e5, then maybe it's a thing. Okay, so he doesn't go for it. Yeah, I wouldn't go for it either. I think giving up a center pawn is not what black wants here. So he goes for b6, which I guess is a novelty in this position. And the aim, I guess, is to develop this bishop either to b7 or to a6. Yeah. D takes 4, f takes 45, destroys my center. I mean, yeah, but it is a pawn sacrifice, right? So let's say we took on e4, right? And f takes e4 and e5. So I think here, can we just how is black winning here? Am I missing something? So we can just take the pawn, right? And I don't see how black can regain it. Maybe queen e7 or something like that. But we are opening. Black will have to waste some time to take the pawn. Maybe, yeah, knight d7. But knight d7, there might be some e6. And I like this for white, actually. So I think this is a bit risky for black to go like this. But okay. Okay, so b6 was played. And Anna has gone for the move a3. So Anna is saying, you know what, this b6 blocks the bishop from going back to a5, because then b4 is going to win the bishop. Oh, so your name is Oliver. Okay, I'm going to call you Oliver from now on, because I don't know how to pronounce your surname. But yeah, a3 basically forces black to either take the knight, which wouldn't be good, of course, for Jacques, or just go back. So Zach, of course, wants to keep the bishop pair, so bishop to e7 is a perfect, yeah, perfectly logical move. And yeah, I'm not sure this a3. I mean, if we want to castle long, I don't quite like this move because it is a weakness. You know, if black starts attacking, might use this a3 pawn as a hook, as they call it. So yeah, and also the bishop on e7 prevents this h4. So this bishop, I think this a3 bishop e7, this might be, at least on the surface, it looks like it's, these two moves help black a little bit. Like the bishop was not doing much on d4, but maybe, yeah, the ads on YouTube, please go away. Maybe Anna wanted to free her knight from defending this knight so she can move it up to f4. Because now the bishop no longer pins the knight, so yeah, maybe something like this is in order, uh, so that we can get our other pieces out. Maybe we can start with a queen move. I don't know. Queen d2 could also be a consideration. Just waiting and see uh, what is going to happen. How does Zach feel about playing a streamer? I mean, yeah, it's actually quite a good question, uh, because a lot of these people, they aren't used to having a camera pointed at them for the duration of the game. So yeah, Zach did play against another streamer in the Blitz tournament. He played against Alexandra Prado, who is also in Reykjavik. She's streaming this event as well. I think he won that game, so he has experience with beating streamers, I guess. But we hope that trend doesn't continue. But yeah, it's a good question because a lot of these guys are not, it's a good it's a interesting opportunity for them. I mean, I was looking at a little bit at who the other streamers are facing, and I saw that the guy you can see above Anna-Maja in the picture, that is Lula's opponent. And this guy's rating is like 1430 or something. So he's basically barely above the rating floor. So his rating before the rating compression was something like 1050, something like that. So he's basically a beginner in chess. And imagine being a beginner and you're playing on stream, camera is pointing at you, and it must feel a bit funny, I would say. Okay, let's see. But maybe she wants to castle sword. She might be aiming for a grouping with knight c1. Yeah, that also might be an issue. I wanted knight f4, but maybe we don't want to trade this knight from g6. So maybe knight c1 looks a little bit passive to me, because where is the knight heading from c1? Maybe to d3 and e5, you could say, but isn't the bishop going to d3? Or do you want bishop e2? Okay. Yeah, it's a bit hard to determine where she wants to put her pieces. So yeah. Camera is pointing at you, and Anna-Maja's commentator is roasting your rating. No, I'm not roasting his rating. I mean, I'm just saying he just started out. I was looking at his profile actually, and he's it's his second tournament, so it makes sense that his rating is low. So Anna's going for e5. So she's pushing that pawn. She wants to transpose the position into some kind of advanced French, I would say. I am not sure I like that move that much, because okay, we're clarifying the situation in the center, sure, but yeah, now black is the only one who has pawn breaks in the position, and c5, either here or in the future, we have to know how to deal with that. I don't think that black is better, but I would say that this is definitely a good opening for black. So he has basically equalized, because okay, this is basically an advanced French in which we have played the move f3, which does nothing. There is no purpose for this move in that structure, and our bishop on g3 also looks a bit unusual here. Like, it's a bit locked in by its own pawn. So we would very much like to have, for instance, this bishop traded for this bishop. Now bishop on g3 is looking a little bit sad. Now maybe what we can do is pull this bishop back to f2. So in case black plays c5, we might have to go for that and at least defend maybe the pawn on d4 with the bishop. That could actually be a cool idea. Yeah. Which would make use of the move f3 as well. And good morning, Paper Jam. Welcome. We see Anna-Maja on Alexandra's stream. Oh, that's cool. Well, I looked a little bit at the layout of the boards, and it seemed like Anna-Maja's board is like in a corner, so it wouldn't be visible from other streamers' perspectives. Okay, Anna's sitting quite a bit back from the board, so let me move the camera a little bit more to see her thinking pose. I'm sorry for Zach's fans that I'm hiding him a bit. Unfortunately, the table is a little bit too big for the phone camera to capture everything. Okay, now we see both players. Yeah, so Zach is thinking how to best break through, make use of the fact that Anna has determined the pawn structure, d4 and e5. And yeah. That g3 bishop is very sad indeed. Maybe if I would have been better, bishop e3 have been played. Yeah, although, okay. I mean, yeah, that is true. Because I think the only use for this bishop is if we bring it back to f2 now and somehow reroute it. So yeah, the last few moves of white are a bit disconnected. Like you played bishop g3 to keep the bishop on this diagonal, then you close the diagonal with e5. So I'm not sure what Anna's plan is here. Maybe she wants to play this f4 move though. Maybe she wants to play for f4, f5 in the future. That could also be the case. Maybe she wants to play that in the spirit of the Steinitz friends. You know, f4. The problem here is that how do you support f5 though? You want a bishop on d3, but your bishop cannot get there, so you have to move the knight again. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how this is doing. Oh, Anna-Maja went up and went to look at Alexandra's board. Oh, okay. I'm sorry for not noticing that. Scrooge, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Oliver. Thank you, Scrooge. Hello to Rafael on YouTube saying good luck, Anna. Yes. Yeah, there are quite a few things different from a typical French structure, so I mean, yeah, this b6 move also is a bit like, why did we play b6 if we're gonna play c5 anyway, right? This knight on g6 a bit misplaced. We're one tempo short, as Vlad said. We haven't played c5 in one go. White has this knight that is blocking our pieces. This pawn on a3 also. Okay, maybe the pawn on a3 is actually making a bit of sense. But yeah. And people are saying that Zach is a bit underrated because he's 20,043 euros. I guess, yeah. I mean, yeah. He is a bit underrated. No, I guess not many tournaments in the UK. Not many federated events. I mean, they have these the 4 Nights Chess League. I don't think they have too many. Yeah, there was a tournament in Cambridge a few months ago, but yeah. Still wild that Andrea's on 3 out of 4 so far. She's playing really well this tournament. Yeah, it's true. She's farming some rating. She also had a really good tournament in Prague, so yeah, she's definitely doing well. I also didn't expect it. I thought she isn't focusing that much on chess, but it turns out she's doing really well. I haven't seen her games, but her results have been pretty amazing. Okay. So Zag is thinking for quite some time here. Let's see what he comes up with. Let's talk about some moves. So c5 is the obvious move, right? So let's see. Black plays c5. What would uh, what would white do here? Would we want to continue with our plan of playing f4 and transpose this to a Steinitz French? Hello, Archid. Lol. Okay, Scrooge is trolling again. I guess f4 would be a logical move, right? That's probably why we play d5, right? We want to play something like this. And I guess black can continue with something like knight c6, putting some pressure on d4. It's a very closed position. I'm afraid I won't be of much use in this position. I don't really know the intricacies of this structure, but it does look like it's kind of balanced, right? I mean, white is kind of playing on the king side, black's kind of playing on the center and queen side. It's pretty good. Maybe bishop f2 here. Yeah, bishop f2 makes sense, I would say. And we're trying to use this bishop. Maybe our knight can... I mean, if black takes, we'd probably take with a knight here, right? And both our pieces are defending d4. My question here is, if black does nothing, how do we continue? Like, maybe we go like g3 and h4, and yeah, it seems a bit weird. To me, it doesn't look very natural, like our development. But maybe, yeah, g3. I guess g3, bishop g2. You can castle short and then go h4 h5, or even keep your king in the center and go h4 h5, or even go to the queen side. I don't really know. Like everything seems possible. Seems possible here. So. He subs he subs tier 3 to his own streams. Yeah. Hello Larbo, welcome. And hello to new people on Twitch. Hello Kukulo19. Hello Strifus, Abi, hello. And who else is there? I mean, Matthew was here earlier. Yeah, so I'm a bit surprised that he hasn't played c5 yet. Let's go back to the actual position. This is the actual position on the board. It's black to move. So I'm a little bit surprised. He's maybe considering some other moves than c5, but I don't see... Okay, he is actually castling. So he's castling first. I guess he wants to see where Anna puts her pieces before he goes for c5 or not. Yes, Vlad is saying clearly this is a new position for both. So yeah, castling, okay, of course it's a normal move. It makes sense. Where, I mean, following the basic rules of chess, castle early. Black is actually quite a little bit ahead in development here. So black has already developed all his kingside. He is castled. White is a couple moves away from castling, but the position is quite close, so yeah, it's not really a big problem, I would say, for Anna. And also, I mean, okay, we probably knew that black was going to go kingside, but that might help. That might help Anna in making a plan. And I do like this plan of trying to prepare the h pawn advance. Now, it would have been much better if this bishop was still on b4. So I think this a3 move was a bit of an inaccuracy in the opening, because imagine if the bishop was still on b4 and our pawn was on a2, right? Then we could play h4 immediately and start attacking on the king side. I'm not sure if that's that principle though, because we would still be kind of undeveloped. But we would at least, you know, have a clear way to make inroads on the king side. So I like this idea of bishop f2, g3, and eventually h4. Now, Oliver is saying in chat h4 immediately, which I didn't consider, because I thought that just blunders a pawn. But maybe we can just sacrifice the pawn to open the h file. So that is definitely an idea. Now, I would like our bishop to have a bit more easy access to d3 for that sacrifice. So let's say that black takes here with a bishop, although we probably want to trade these bishops anyway, so maybe knight takes might have been more accurate. But yeah, let's say this happens. I don't really see where the compensation is. I mean, sure, we have the open h file, but black looks really solid to me. Like, if it all comes down to it, black can even put the knight back here or something, or yeah, or the queen here. I mean, the h file is open, but it's not like we're checkmate. Oh yeah, also black can just blunt it with h6. So this is I don't think this is enough for the pawn, although it is an interesting idea. I do like that people are bringing these ideas, because I'm not that familiar with the position, so yeah, any new ideas is appreciated, so we can understand this better, basically. Now, if I had the white pieces here, as I said, I would probably go for some slow plan like bishop f2, g3, and eventually go for the move h4. Now, that of course might be a little bit neglecting my development. So maybe also queen d3 and castle long should be considered. But yeah, lots of ways this position can go, I would say. Black has, I think, more clear plans. Like, black wants to play c5 and put pressure in the center. Probably knight c6. Bishop a6 might be an idea. So black wants to play in the center. White probably wants to play in the king side here, but it does feel like Anna might be a little bit slower with her king side play than Zach could be with her center play. So yeah, I don't know. And yeah, c5 is an idea whatever Anna plays. So this position, I would say, is a little bit easier to play for black, because black's moves are more easy to find, basically. So yeah, let's see. Queen d2 is the move being played. So developing the queen, probably getting ready for long castles. Wouldn't queen d3 immediately get kicked out? Yeah, that's true. That's probably why she put the queen on d2. Yeah, so if she had played queen d3, yeah, bishop a6 would be a problem. The queen could go to e3, but there is no need to give tempi to black for no reason. So queen d2, I guess if you want to develop the queen d2 makes more sense than queen d3. Um, and yeah, black, I think, especially now that he's castled, I guess it's a good time to open the center. I mean, black is the one castled. White is the one with the king still in the center. So c5, I guess, makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm a bit scared of long castling because this a3 pawn is kind of a hook in case black tries to attack us, right? Like, black could even consider not even playing with c5 and going for some b5, b4 immediately. Um, I think that this a3 move is where Anna needs to look a little bit after the game and see, this may be a mistake because I'm kicking the bishop to a better square where it's hindering my attack because we can't play h4 that easily without sacrificing a pawn at least. And it's also creating a potential weakness for black's queenside ideas. So this a3 move, I think she needs to look after the game. But okay, that will be in a long time. We still have a game to see here. You're belling on long castles, and after c5 I'm going king f2 and rook d1. So yeah, that also might be an idea. The thing is, this bishop though, where are you going? So do you want to go like rook d1, knight c1, bishop d3, and rook e1, something like this, right? Yeah, this might also make sense. Although, again, if the center opens up, right? If, let's say, black goes c5, takes on d4, puts the bishop here, the king might come a little bit under fire. So, yeah. And as Jim Solver is saying, yeah, also, black has a second pawn break here with f6. So, again, if you put your king on the f file, it might be a little bit risky, I would say. Yeah, so Anna's position, we look a little bit underdeveloped here. This knight blocks our bishop. We haven't castled yet, and we are not really sure where to castle. And that's why I think that black will go for this c5, and we would have to be really careful. We would have to be really careful. h4 would at least open the file. I mean, do we really want to sacrifice a pawn in a position where we have worse development? I don't know. This feels very precarious for black. One wrong move and it all falls apart. Really? I wouldn't agree with that. I think black's position is very solid here. I think black has easy moves to find. And yeah, I don't think this is dangerous for black at all. I mean, maybe it is if white goes from h4, h5, right? I guess. I don't know. So let's say black goes for c5, right? I guess this is, and Anna goes for, you want this pawn sacrifice. I am not convinced by this. I think black can just take it. So yeah, and okay, now we do get some attack. It's true. Now we can castle long and go for some g4 maybe. I don't know. Yeah, so we can go for stuff like that. But I don't see why this would work, because it's not like our moves made sense with this h4 plan, right? I mean, we put our knight here blocking our bishop. We played a3. If such a move works, then it means, the whole opening is inherently bad for black, which I don't think is the case. Hello, Rookie. Welcome. Good morning. And white almost. I mean, Anna is the high-rated player, so she might want to put a little bit of pressure in the position, even at the cost of a pawn. So a lot of players are very afraid of sacrificing pawns, but actually most of the time games are not decided by a single pawn unless you're like 2400 or above, I would say. So in this in this game, I think, yeah, I mean, even if we give away a pawn, there would be the chance later on that the opponent makes a mistake, and we win it back or something like that. So sacrificing a pawn to open a file could be a valid idea, even if it's a bit unsound. So this h4, yeah, it's definitely interesting. I would have liked it to happen with the bishop still on b4. We would be up a lot of tempi in the attack if that happened, but okay, we do have this position. We have to make the best of it, I guess. So yeah, it is definitely an interesting idea, I would say. Of course, we don't want to be down a pawn for nothing, though. So have to make sure at least we have some ideas to go with it. So black is considering his options. He's not playing c5 instantly, which is probably what I would do if I had black in this position. So he's probably considering other ideas. I'm not sure what those would be. Maybe he wants to prepare it a little bit. Maybe he wants to instead develop the pieces, go something like bishop b7, knight d7, maybe prepare some f6 break instead of c5. Maybe he wants to wait a little bit to see where Anna is castling before deciding his plan. Yeah. White's center is going to fall apart in every line, though, which is going to cause problem for white. That is true, yeah. So, but eventually it all comes back to the move c5, right? I mean, this is the move that will break apart white's center. We can still support it. We have some moves like bishop f2. I think as long as we keep this pawn on e5, we are fine as white. Now, if black manages to eliminate both of our central pawns, then this might become a bit dangerous. So I'm surprised black is only 1951 rated. I know him, and from what I can tell, he's quite a bit stronger than that. Yeah, it might be the case that he's a bit underrated. I mean, some people earlier looked at the URS rating, which is it's been proven to be a better predictor for results than the FIDE rating, and he's rated like 2000 in there. Now that does not mean that his true rating is 2000 FIDE, it's a different rating system, but it does indicate that he might be a little bit underrated, as there is quite a big difference there. It's about 100 points. So is knight f4 and bishop d3 a good idea? So the problem is we don't have enough time to do that, right? So if black goes for, let's say, I mean, first of all, it's black to move, right? So if black goes for this and we try knight f4, yeah, you can see the computer already thinks black is winning. Not sure why, though. Let me think. Yeah, I don't know why the computer thinks black is winning, but I think like white doesn't really have enough time yet. Just knight c6, and maybe, you know, this pawn needs protection. That's the point. So this knight might actually have to drop back to e2. So yeah, this if we take here, black might actually even take like this, and just claim that, you know, I'm taking here. Your king has no square to go. You probably have to go here, but let's say you went bishop d3. Well, bishop d3 would hang the pawn. No, so you can't do that. So basically, yeah, the whole point of this is that d3, d4 is weak. So plan with knight f4 probably wouldn't work, I would say. But of course black has to play c5 for that. So if black plays a slow move like knight d7, then maybe you can do that. Okay, so black moved bishop to a6. So bishop to a6 is a little bit of a slow move. I'm not sure why he's not going for c5 immediately. Maybe he wants to get rid of this bishop first. And yeah, who's the streamer that I will behind? The pink girl versus ginger hair board? I don't think she's a streamer. I don't think she's a streamer. I think this board used to be the board where Dina was sitting and streaming from, but there were some problems, I think, with her camera as she moved. So now it's not really a streamer's board. So I don't think the girl in the pink shirt is a streamer. And don't know who she is. It looks like the opponent is from Norway. From what I can see, the flag in the distance. I can't see her flag to know who she might be. Oh, that's Irina Bulmaga? Okay, thank you, Vlad. I don't know chess players. I'm sorry. So, yeah, so it's not a streamer, I guess. Yeah, it was supposed to be a streamer section, but there were some technical problems, I guess. So they moved Dina from there. And of course, they can't change the entire layout of the tournament, so they kept that board there. And now there is a normal board in the streamer section. Okay. I don't like this bishop a6, this c5 again. Yeah, this bishop a6 feels a little bit slow, right? I mean, you can see the computer also is not a big fan of the move. Is saying that white is better. Again, it was saying black was slightly better. Of course, this is very weak computer, and just having it here for purely tactical lines. So in this position, the evil wouldn't be too useful, I guess. But it does feel a little bit slow. It does feel that we've been given a little bit more time to go for with our plan. And Anna is playing. What is this move? Okay, that's interesting. Knight c3 to d1. Okay, that is a very strange move for me. I think that is what she played, right? So she probably wants to play pawn to c3. That is my understanding. She probably wants to defend against c5. But this feels very weird. Like, what are our knights doing there? It looks like our knights are suffocating our king somehow. Yeah, that's I don't think that's a very accurate move here. Knight d1. It looks, I mean, the position is closed, sure, so you have time for knight maneuvers and all that stuff. But the problem with such positions is that black can open the board up at any moment. So black can go c5, black can go f6, and if the position opens up and your development looks like this, then you might be in trouble. So I would say that black might have a chance to seize the initiative here at some point. As Jim Solver is saying, yeah, this bishop a6 is a common idea in many French, advanced French, and maybe other French, I don't know, positions to get rid of the bishop on c8. So this b6, bishop a6 is standard. That's why Zach probably played it. I do think that Zach has to break through with one of these moves, like sooner or later. Not sure why he's wasting that much time on developing moves, because if black manages to, if white manages to somehow concoct a defensive wall here, like some c3, f4, and I put the knight here, then she might, solve all her opening problems. Right now, though, white is very underdeveloped. So, yeah, and you can see c5 is being played. So, Zach is realizing that he wants to open the center, and I think Anna, as a French player herself, she realizes that, yeah, black is opening the center up, and I'm a little bit behind in development. C5 looks good again. F6, queen to the C file, and stuff like that. Am I team Anna on team Zach? Of course I'm team Anna. I mean, well, we're on Anna's channel. I'm just laying out the ideas for both sides. I do hope that Anna wins, of course, but in a chess game is a chess game, right? You have to be a little bit objective as well. Maybe the knight is heading to g4. I guess, yeah, but what is the purpose of the knight on g4 still? Like, I think the reason she played knight to d1 is that she wants to play here and move pawn to c3 and defend the d4 point that might become weak. Black is probably going to go like knight c6 here, right? And continue putting some pressure. It doesn't look that terrible for white, but black is definitely the one pushing here, because black, even this bishop is like, this bishop is usually the bad bishop. I would say that this bishop here is better than the bishop on f1, which is blocked. So yeah, it looks like a French in which we have done a few things wrong here, I would say. But of course the game is definitely far from over. So after c3 he can go c4, gets connect 4 and wins. I mean, we already have connect 4 though after c3, so maybe white won connect 4, right? So maybe we won first. But yeah, I think that c will go with pawn to c3 here. What a terrible opening. I mean, yeah, the opening feels like it's gone a little bit wrong, but it's easy to go wrong in a position that you don't know, right? I mean, Anna's playing this fantasy variation for the first time, basically, or second time. She's facing this e6 line for the first time. And yeah, she probably, this a3 I think is the root of all her problems here, because again, that takes the bishop away and it slowed our attack, our potential attack, and it's also like giving some ideas for both. But okay, nothing is of course lost. Like, of course, obviously we're still in the opening, but it does look like black is getting the better position out of the opening. Now, of course, for all of you who have watched Anna's games for a while, you know that she's a very talented swindler. So even if she gets a bad position, she can definitely turn it around and win the game. So yeah, I'm not too worried here that, you know, okay, black might be getting like a -1 position or something. That can definitely turn around. I mean, even in yesterday's game, you see that Anna was basically slightly worse the entire game. Her opponent was playing really, really well. And then when it came to time travel, he just completely collapsed in one move. So, and Anna was completely winning just from one wrong move of the opponent. So, you know, right? It's don't obsess too much about the engine evaluation. That's what I'm trying to say. We only have it here so that people who are just passing by can see how the game is going without having to listen to me mumble about the position for like 40 minutes. But don't obsess too much over it. Like, there is still a game to be played. That's what I'm going to say. Is Anna allowed to have chess notation on her jumper? What? I don't think it's chess notation. It says like something. I don't know what it says, but yeah. I guess it is allowed. Like I've seen guys and girls play in chess tournaments with shirts that have chess notations on them. Chess themed shirts. I don't know. So yeah, I guess it is allowed. That is my answer. Bishop f2, we secure the king. That would be a funny move. I think it's actually not a terrible move, but it would look funny, right? If you could take a screenshot of these six pieces, it would be really funny. Uh, that would be interesting, right? I mean, imagine having a cert that also is your prep, and the opponent can see it. So imagine, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that someone who is really clever could use it in a very evil way. So right, you write prep on your cert, but you make some move that is supposed to be really bad for your opponent in it, and you make it seem like that move is really good. So your opponent might see your cert and go for this move and fall into a trap, and you win the game. So this might be a new idea um, coming out of this chat today to that someone could use in a chess tournament. Imagine wearing a shredder the full game you're playing. Yeah, that would also be funny. Like, I mean, I think we should print out like shirts with a Berlin draw and just give them as a gift to various GMs. I think then it would be we would have a good chance of seeing the exact line on the shirt played at some point. So let's go, Anna. People are saying the YouTube chat. Let's go. Yes. So need some support, I think. As it's thinking about here. Anna, by the way, is on 2.5 points out of 4. So far, I think she's about equal in ratings. She's not gaining or losing too much. But she needs to win that game in order to face some high-rated opponents next round, I would say. Where am I from? I'm from Athens, Greece. Was c5 played after 91? Yes. C5 was played, and it's now white to move. Roasting GMs. I'm not roasting them. I'm just saying they do like this particular variation very much. Not all of them, of course, but yeah. I'm sure some would wear it. Yeah, I mean, they would. I calculated that she might get Nomi. She ends up at 6.5 average rating of opponents after this game of 2-3-2-2. Seems correct. I mean, I don't know. It looks vaguely correct, but why would you make some such calculations in the middle of a tournament where you don't know the average rating, you don't know her score? I mean, it's just a random thought, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it seems correct, I guess. Lots of people writing good luck. Thank you guys from YouTube. Am I a GM? No, I'm far from a GM. We do have a GM in the chat. I'm a chess patcher around the rating of Anna's opponent from today. So yeah, my rating I think is 1940 something. It used to be much higher, but I fell off. GMs find cows an important opening. They need to study their stuff. I mean, yeah, there is, there are GMs who play Berlin draws all game, And there are GMs who experiment and play the cow opening. So, yeah. By the way, I posted this on Discord. The guy who played the cow opening, he won with the cow opening and has not won a game after that. So maybe he needs to go back to the cow opening. That's the only opening he won with. So, yeah, I guess cow maybe not that bad. I don't know. Just calling the opponent a patcher. I mean, we are all patchers, right? Even Magnus is a patcher compared to Stockfish. We're rating is, I don't know who said that, but I've heard this quote and I really like it. Rating is a measure of how little you suck at chess. So high rating, you suck a bit less, but we all suck at chess basically. Cow opening OP. Okay, we've got some cow opening fans here. Okay, so c3 played as expected. That's why Anna moved her knight back to d1. I would say she's also, from the look of her face, she's not that satisfied with the way the opening has gone. So she knows that black might be quite a bit better here. But c3, keeping the position like this. I think knight c6 would be kind of the automatic move here if we don't find something better. I think Anna is hoping to use her experience in French positions from the black side, but of course, she has a lot of experience, so she can visualize how white would also go about it. She's hoping to use that experience to navigate this position. Patcher Magnus against Chad Stockfish. Zach isn't scared to invest time when he needs to, but he did lose on time once recently. Ooh. Flagging in classical chess is always yeah, not amazing. I've only flagged in classical chess once. It was really sad because the position was a dead draw and I was thinking about moves that I could have done earlier because I was completely winning, as always. I'm a very big game thrower. I was completely winning. I was thinking, oh man, I was completely winning. And momentarily, I completely forgot about the time. And the position was a really dead draw, like something like rook versus bishop with 1 pawn each. Or rook versus knight and bishop with 1 pawn each, something like that. Just a really trivial draw. The pawns would get exchanged and would go into an endgame without any pawns. And I momentarily completely forgot about my time and I flagged. So instead of butchering this one position into a draw, I even lost the game. So yeah, that was not a good experience. But I guess we learn from such experiences, right? So knight c6 being played. I realized, is the sound okay, guys? I realized that my settings are a bit messed up. Okay, probably it is okay. You shouldn't be hearing any weird sounds, but okay. Knight c6 has been played. And again, very easy move to make, right? Black is just putting some more pressure on d4 and is yeah, he's just prepared. Now this is where I think this a3 move comes a little bit in handy because it is at least preventing pieces from landing on b4 after an eventual trade. So there is still a little hope for white, I would say. So position is of course still closed. But what is the plan? Like, again, the reason why this position is a bit hard to play for white is that it doesn't really look clear to me, at least, what we want to do. Like, what is our plan here as white? Do we want to castle long? Probably not, right? Especially with the c file opening up. Castling long, I think, is out of the question. So we probably want to put our king maybe in the center or on the king side, but we also want to attack on the king side. Our knights are very clumsy here. We need to reposition them, but we can't really move them that much. I mean, maybe this knight can go to e3 and then to c2 or something. But in general, white lacks a clear plan. I think Anna has to think here, like what her next 4 to 5 moves will be, because for me it's not clear at all. Like, I can't find a way to untangle and get to a good position. Good morning, Nathan. Welcome to the stream. Sir, can you flip the evil bar so that streamer has the advantage? I wish I could do that, but yeah. I can't, unfortunately. Did they say next 4? No, I said next 4 to 5. Of course, if she knew what her plan is for the next 45 moves, that would also be amazing. But yeah, I'm afraid such a thing is not gonna be possible. Wait, what? Ivanchuk, Lumia, Yi drew? I mean, yeah, I kind of predicted that in another server. Lu, it looks like she has gotten, she has gotten to that side of the pairings where she's getting all the really draw happy GMs, and she's just making quick draws against them. So I don't know. Like, Ivanchuk is probably not interested in playing a long game today. I mean, it's also Ivanchuk's birthday, from what people were saying in the chat at least. So let's wish him a happy birthday, I guess. But yeah, I think he's not really, wishing to play a long game of chess against a young, fresh, and talented opponent. So yeah, they're just going for an early draw, and ooh, okay, we see the move b4. So Anna wants to capitalize on the queen side. Okay, she wants to make the move a3 make sense. b4. Okay, that's gaining some space on the queen side, I guess. And it's also forcing black to do something with the c pawn. I mean, is it really? No, I don't know. This b4 move, okay, I'm not predicting any moves in this game though. So yeah. So what does this b4 do? I mean, it is a common plan in some French positions to play a3 and b4, but yeah. So at first I thought this clarifies the situation in the center, so black would be forced to play some takes, and that might help us a little bit. I don't know, maybe we can take with a knight even. But I realized, as Jim Solver is saying, that actually this pawn is protected, and black can just go here. So black can just ignore us. Although the computer doesn't like f6, okay. But to me it looks like we are getting into like a good position. Maybe why does it like that? Is this on this maybe? It's very weird though. Bishop takes f1, knight takes e6. Is that the point? I guess. Yeah, we're winning exchange. So maybe f6 is not ideal. But again, black can just develop, right? After b4. You can just go, I don't know, like rook c8 or something. Yeah. As Bob is also saying, this rook c8. Black can just wait, and I'm not sure where we're going with this b4. Right? We're not really threatening b5. We're not really taking on c5. So, but okay, I think, yeah, as Jim's already saying, I think b4, the reason she, okay, let's put it on the board. The reason she did that is she hopes that black will get, will get scared about this b pawn and will take on d4. Now I don't know if we're gonna take back like this or like this. Probably c takes, right? But yeah, that would solidify our position a little bit. So I think this is a move that's saying, I know I'm worse here, but I'm gonna try and make some space, claim some space, and make my opponent, go into a position that is more solid for me, so that I don't have that many things to be scared of. C takes d4 also opens up, again, our knights could go to c3, and yeah, something like that. Hannah is calling for Anna-Maja to be fined for her ugly boots. What? Oh, okay. But I could consider bishop takes e2 and c4. Okay, let's look at that in a moment. Okay, so Spand is saying in the chat, bishop takes e2. I presume white would take with the bishop and c4. So first of all, white now has the bishop pair. Now I don't like this plan. I don't like this plan for black at all. The engine doesn't either. Why is this plan bad? Where black is locking the queen side down, right? So that is the side in which black has an advantage. So instead of opening the queen side up, which would be normal, he's locking down. And now white has a free hand on the king side. So that position is actually amazing for white, in my opinion. Like, white would have some ideas here of f4, f5, castles king side. Yeah, this position is exactly what white wants. Like, c4 is a very bad move in a positional sense. Don't close down the side where you have an advantage on. So here, yeah, you can see our knight goes to e3, our pawn goes to f4, we castle king side, we're supporting this f5. This position, okay, white, let's see, what is the evaluation? Plus 0.5. Well, I think white is much better here. Like, I would give this almost +1, maybe even plus 1.5 at higher depths. Maybe the engine is a bit weak. So yeah, this position is amazing for white. So this bishop e2 and c4 plan, okay, usually this is your bad bishop in the French, right? But in this case, this bishop is actually better than the bishop on f1. So there is no need to give up this bishop. And especially there is no need to close down the position with c4. Like, c4 would be a terrible move here. I have seen some players play it. I've even seen 2,000 players make such bad positional moves, which justifies me calling them patzers, but yeah, I don't think that will happen. I wish it would happen because that would help our streamer, but yeah, I don't think it's a very good plan. But it's interesting that people did like this. Some people, at least, in the chat. Okay. So yeah, the c4 idea is probably not that great. Okay, what am I missing here? Taking the b4 pawn would be awful, so takes on d4 is best. I mean, they're equivalent. No, taking b4 we can take ab. Yeah, they're not equivalent. So yeah, if you want to capture and open the c file, you have to take on d4, I assume. But that is exactly what Anna wants, right? She wants to clarify the situation in the center. Now, she takes d4 is not as bad as c4, because black does have the open c file. The c file is open. White cannot feel that safe with the king in the center. And yeah, so I would say that cd4 is, it also helps white a little bit, but not as much as this other bishop e2 to c4. What were last two moves? So the last two moves, black played knight c6, and we made this b4 move. And now the opponent is thinking. Jacques is thinking. And you can see time is about equal for both players. This, by the way, is the time 15 minutes ago. But I would say the time is still about equal. I would say maybe Anna has a little bit more time. So I would say Anna has about 55 minutes. The opponent maybe about 50 minutes. It's move 13. Both players quite evenly matched on time. This position, of course, still very rich. So I'm expecting that as we head into the middle game, I think already we are into the middle game, both players will be investing quite a bit of time in their moves. So what are the moves here to consider for black? C takes d4 is definitely, kind of a bailout option. As we said earlier, f6, it could be considered, but knight f4 is quite a cool idea. Attacking e6, attacking a6, taking advantage of the fact that bishop is unprotected. Bishop to b5 to lure a4, and then take on e2 and c takes d4. So that's quite a complicated plan. So bishop b5, okay, and you're saying that, okay, I will play a4, and then you will take here and go cd4, and then I blundered. Yeah, okay. But I don't think Anna will play a4. I think, okay, this is just a one move threat, right? So bishop b5, I guess, is a waiting move. It doesn't really, like, white will just probably ignore it and go something like knight e3, right? Unless I blunder terribly, I don't see why this is that bad. So yeah, bishop b5, I don't think it's a move that will happen. It might not be that terrible. I mean, black probably has to play a move like rook c8. That would be, I don't know if it's the first suggestion of the engine, but yeah, rook c8 makes sense. f6 and knight e2, f6 and bishop e2. Bishop b5 to continue a5. Ah, okay. Maybe this is a better move than I gave it credit for. We want to open up the a pawn, but okay, this is too deep a move, I think, for a 1900 to play. I don't know. I wouldn't even think about playing bishop b5 here. f6 is a move. Yeah, I think f6 is like the first move that you... Okay, of course, the first move you see is cd4, right? The first move you see is this. And then you realize that, okay, maybe I'm helping white a little bit, solidifying the pawn structure and all of that. Then you start to calculate f6, and you're like, f6, I can't really do that because there is knight f4, right? I'm sure he sees that, because it's a common idea in the French, especially when your knight is on e2. It's a common in many Taras positions that f6 is met by knight f4 quite often. So, although I'm forgetting that Zach is not a French player, so he might actually not know this idea if you're not playing French. And this is the thing about... This is a French, and black is playing kind of a French. But I think Anna knows more about the French than Zach, because Zach's a Caro-Kann player. He doesn't know about French structures. Anyway, yeah, so this f6, you realize there is some knight f4 maybe, so you're thinking, maybe not f6, maybe I have to do something else. And yeah, that is exactly, yeah, that's why he's spending quite a bit of time as well. I think he has plenty of choices. So yeah, Zach has never played the French. Yeah, and this is a thing, like this is a kind of an advertisement for the fantasy variation, that if black goes for this a6 line, you have to know French positions. So black here might not be that familiar with French positions. If I was black here, I would probably go for the move rook c8. I think. Because it's just a useful waiting move. It can't be a blunder. It might be a little bit slow, but I think you can't go wrong with such moves, right? Now, the GM move, I would say, maybe, is this bishop b5. Yeah, bishop b5, so this... I'm not sure if people in the chat suggested it because they see the engine is liking it. I'm not sure. I'm just putting out an idea. Because someone said, yeah, bishop b5, the idea is to lure a4. Okay, white will not play a4. That blunders a pawn, at least. But after black plays something like knight e3, the idea of bishop a5 is maybe to go... bishop b5 is to maybe go a5 and take advantage of this b4 move and pressure this pawn on b4 using this pin down the a file. So black is now threatening this pawn on b4, and that practically forces white to take on c5. That opens the b file. Notice that a4 is still not possible here because c takes d4, c takes d4, bishop b4. Am I missing something? I think I'm not. Maybe I missed something along this line, but yeah, maybe we can take here first. So you'd have to play bishop takes e2 first and then do this. But the evil remains the same. Black is completely winning. So we cannot play a4 here. And, you know, opening the b file is definitely a huge achievement for black in this position. So this bishop b5, very deep move. Very deep move. I would be quite surprised if he finds that. It would be a very good move, I guess. Let's see what the engine wants to play in this position. Okay, so so as suspected, the engine wants to go bishop b5. Okay. And is giving black minus 1.4 or something like this. But I'm expecting, well, with my 1900 brain, I'm expecting a move like rook to c8 here. Hello, Mayagus. Welcome. Hey, friends. What's Anna's score overall? Anna's on 2.5 out of 4, as you can see here. So yeah, 2 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss, and the loss was to a grandmaster. So yeah, 2.5 out of 4. We hope that after today's game, she goes to 3.5 out of 5. I've played fantasy against him. Okay, so he has some experience dealing with the fantasy variations, I guess. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Maybe. I mean, if you're new to the stream, you probably won't notice. It's very small. But we do have it on the overlay, yeah, because people will ask for it. Oh, Dylan asked the same question. I didn't even see his message, but okay, we killed 2 birds with 1 stone here. Hello, Dylan. Welcome. If this game doesn't go her way, will it be Final Fantasy, like the game, right? I think the fantasy is quite an interesting opening, to be honest, because it's it takes Karokan players out of their comfort zone. I would say, like you wouldn't see. I think you wouldn't see. I'm sure that Zach's friends who are in the chat can confirm. You wouldn't see him thinking down to 45 minutes on move 13 in a normal Karokan position, right? Because Karokan theory is actually pretty long, and it's very sensible. Like you play all these positions, you go with c6 d5, and then you take on e4, and you play this knight d7, knight f6, bishop e7, you castle. It has a lot of theory, so yeah. Thanks for killing me with a stone. It's an expression. Don't worry. I'm not attacking anyone with stones. Just having like 4 streams open to see how the streamers are doing. Anna, the Boda sisters, even Dina. Yeah, that's nice. I mean, I wish there was like actually this is an idea for chess.com. Maybe in such tournaments, you can make like a layout with all the streamers streams and check them out. So maybe even the tournament itself could do it, and I remember in the old days, chess.com used to have this kind of tournaments where streaming either Title Tuesday or Arena Kings, all these tournaments, right? And they would go to people's streams and broadcast their stream for like a couple minutes, see a game of theirs, and then go to another. So maybe this could be an idea for OTB tournaments like that when there's a lot of streamers. Let's check how this streamer is doing. See for 5 minutes the position. See the guy is talking about. The commentator is talking about the position, and then we go to another streamer. That maybe that would be a funny idea. I think. Seaman made already a draw. So this guy was leading the tournament, right? And he was playing a GM. You see, I tell you, GMs love their draws. So, by the way, does anyone know why this game was on board 2? The first board game was on board 2 instead of board 1. I guess the Icelandic guy is fixed to play on board 2, but does anyone know the reason for this? Yeah, good result, I guess, draw against the GM. Similar to squad streaming. Yeah, that was my thought, yeah. And Dylan is also saying he's opening multiple tabs to see all the streamers' games. I mean, if you just want to see the games, you can view them all at once on the chess.com events page. But if you want to see the streams, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. I've seen Zach play the black side of the fantasy at the club, but this obviously went out of book very quickly. He invests time where he knows he has something, and to be fair, there's a critical moment. He'll have to sped up after this. Okay, so Zach is taken on d4. So that is the move he chose after quite a bit of thought. And it seems to be a good move. However, white might be able to untangle a little bit. Now, I'm not sure what we will take with here. Taking with the knight actually makes sense because we attack this knight, we attack this bishop. Okay, and I think black would be forced to take on f1, but Anna's taking with the pawn. So she's keeping this combination here. A side question real quick. Would you say Anna has recovered a bit after the loss to the GM? She seemed tilted after that one. Oh, okay. I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say she was that tilted. I mean, it was a good game. She maybe was a little bit upset that she missed some winning chances. I wouldn't say that she is in a bad mood in this tournament so far. I'd say she's in a quite good mood. So, yeah. C takes d4 has been played here. So, yeah, the reason I mentioned this might be interesting, right? Because now we're threatening here. So, I think black has to take, and we can force also the trades of the knights and bishop. Now, not sure why would that be good for us, but at least the position looks a little bit more like, we have breathing room. We can go king f2, king g1 maybe even, and safeguard our king. We still are saddled with this bad bishop on g3, but this looks like kind of more solid for us. But the way this went, we are keeping the knights here, and this knight is blocking our development a little bit, I would say. Maybe Anna wants to put it on c3, and that could be an idea. Rook c8 is supernatural here. Yeah, rook c8 looks like a good move to me as well. And maybe after knight e3, yeah, knight e3 would also be a move. Bishop to c4. So what's the plan with bishop to c4? Why did you play rook c8 and then close the c file with bishop c4? What is the idea? Do you want... I mean, playing a5 is less effective with the rook on c8 as well. The computer still likes black here, by the way, but I don't see much sense in black's moves. Like, okay, sure, the bishop is quite strong here. Of course, we can always trade this guy, right? But yeah, I would say okay, black might be slightly better. I don't see why this is so good for him. Okay, Zach is thinking. Anna has built quite a big time advantage, I would say, by now. Like, Zach has been thinking the majority of the time. And you can see on the clocks that Anna is already up 10 minutes, 15 minutes ago. And it has been Zach's turn for the majority of the past 15 minutes. So I would say the time advantage has grown maybe to about 15 to 20 minutes. Hello, her. Welcome. Just clocked that Anna has passed Dina in rating. Yeah, Dina has been having some problems with her rating recently. I mean, she did play in a few tournaments that were quite bad for the rating, like some US tournaments, a lot of American kids who hadn't have a chance to play much federated tournaments. So, but she is still staying around 2200. I would say that is around her strength nowadays. Turtle versus turtle. I actually like. I mean, if you take game 3 out of the equation, I actually like Anna's time management in this tournament. I think it has been quite well. What's gone with the camera? F. Oh, the camera. Okay. Yeah, maybe the stream has some problems. Okay, I think we might be back here. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry for small hiccup. We are back. Okay, so and we have a move. Yeah, the camera kind of broke down for a moment, I think, but it should be fine. And I think black played a move as well. So black played the move bishop to c4. Which was suggested by some people. Actually, they suggested rook c8 first and then bishop c4, which didn't make much sense to me. But he's putting the bishop strong position, a protected position. And yeah, he's basically saying, you know, my bishop, which is supposed to be the bad friend's bishop, is actually a really good piece. So yeah. Ooh, I'm lagging. Cam is half gone. What? The cam is looks fine, right? I mean, we should be fully back. If you have some stream problems, please refresh the page, I would say. Yeah. So, yeah. So bishop c4 has been played. Zach is leaving the board, and is basically saying, you know, this piece has become very good. This is supposed to be my bad bishop, but it's actually a really good piece. So I'm wondering if Anna now wants to trade this and move this knight out of the way. I wouldn't be surprised with that. Yeah. Anna will find a way to win this one. We hope so, yeah. We do. And she has quite a bit of extra time. She might need that though, because Black has quite a good position here. Black has quite a solid grip on the position. Like, the center is closed, and it does seem like Black has been making more inroads to on the queen side than White has been making on the king side. So yeah. See you, Jim Solver. See you. Yeah, time being the decisive factor is a possible scenario. Sure. Yeah, I mean, both players are spending quite some time. So this game will feature a time scramble, I'm pretty sure. I'd try to get rid of this bishop, says Bosman. I agree with that. I think the move knight e to c3 is definitely a consideration here for Anna. She might want, you know, this bishop to disappear, even if that will mean that Black could be structurally better, since if we just look at the pawn structure, this bishop is still the bad bishop, right? But what's actually happening here is that both of White's bishops are bad. So she might need to try and trade them away, I would say. Is the idea here b5 and queen b6? Ooh. That might be a plan. Yeah, that definitely might be a plan. Although I think the structure here is quite locked. This d4 pawn, it kind of looks like it can be attacked, but White can always pull this bishop back to f2. So I'm not sure b5, queen b6 will do much. So let's say that I go with my move here, knight to c3. b5. Okay, first of all, here you cannot play, I think, b5, because I take it. Maybe not. Not sure. But okay, let's ignore this tension. Let's say that White makes a random move like no, h4 blunders a pawn. Rook c1, right? Rook c1, like, yeah, b5 is what you want to play. And let's say I make another terrible move for White, go back, and then you want to play queen b6. Okay, so yeah, I guess that is a good development scheme. Okay, of course White's not gonna play White's not gonna play like this, but yeah, this b5 queen b6 looks like a good idea, I would say. It does put extra pressure on d4. It makes White's life a little bit harder. I think Black's eventual goal here is to double up on the open file and just infiltrate the White position. via the c file. So black has managed to open a file on the queen side and is now trying to infiltrate onto white's camp. So doubling on the c file I would go for. And yeah, you can see that yeah, Anna is probably not feeling that comfortable in her position either. She's trying to figure out a way to make sense of it. I would say it's still nothing too terrible. The engine is hating this position. The engine says black is -2. So in a position with equal material, black is the equivalent of being 2 pawns up. So yeah, the position is, according to the engine, pretty bad. But because it's equal material, I would say that this is still nothing too terrible. So yeah. Anna-Maja is in the mind that she wants to have chances for norms, so thinks she feels it's a must-win game. I mean, norms aside, right? Oh, the camera has been quite shaky. Guys, I hope that the camera doesn't completely break down again. Okay, so far so good, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that makes it more stressful to play. I mean, norms aside, like when you play someone who is 300 rated, 300 rating points lower, you do feel like it's a must-win game. So especially with white. So yeah, I would say that okay. Again, I don't want to say anything about norms because it's really hard to make a norm in an open tournament, right? I mean, I think Anna knew that before she came here to Reykjavik. So yeah, I wouldn't really care that much about it. But at some point you need to realize, right, that a draw here, for instance, is not a terrible result. Like you got a bad position, sure you're gonna lose a few rating points, but you can game them back later, right? There is still half the tournament left, so yeah, I mean, it's not terrible, I would say. Everyone's heart dropping when the camera starts starting it. Yeah, I mean, it might have been, you know, the sun hitting the phone and the phone was overheating, and yeah, I mean, it's not really in her control to fix that, but it does seem to be fine for now, I would say. I'm not sure what is causing the phone to overheat, but yeah. So one thing I'm hopeful about is that the camera didn't do this on the other morning round, which was quite a long game as well. So I'm just hoping that, you know, the sun's position in the morning is a bit different and it does not affect the phone. Because if you saw the layout of the hole, Anna's camera is quite a bit exposed to the sun. So that would make sense that would be the cause of the problem. Nordi didn't get half a point for the bye. I think he did. He actually has 1 point. So he has 1 draw out of 3 games and 1 half point for the bye. So yeah, so now he's playing, yeah, for okay, Anna's still shaking her hands, shaking her head as well. To be honest, if it was me, it was resigning. Money is probably trolling, I think. But okay. So as you can see, at some points, Anna had a 20 minutes time advantage. That advantage is probably now dwindling since Anna's been thinking for quite some time on this move. But we do expect her to move quite soon. I would say. And this game will definitely go down to a time scramble. So I think despite the evaluation, I would say that it's very much anyone's game. And it will probably decided, it would probably be decided in time pressure. Ooh, and look at that. Look at that. So Anna has had enough of the position. And she's playing the move h4. So she's sacrificing a pawn. She's probably thinking, you know what, my position is bad, but let's make my opponent think a little bit, right? My opponent has a free hand on the queen side, and I'm doing nothing on the king side. So we're sacrificing a pawn to open up the h-file. So this is an idea that we've talked about before, that white might do it. I actually did not expect Anna to do it on this move. It does look quite interesting. I mean, obviously the computer still thinks that black is much, much better, but at least we're kind of spicing up the game, right? We're making our opponent think. The opponent obviously does not know that he is in a +2 position. He says, I'm a bit behind on the clock, and now my opponent is attacking, right? So again, like yesterday's game, she's a bit playing some psychological tricks, I would say. This h4 is trying to make him think, make him lose a little bit more time, and perhaps make some mistake in defending, because as we know in chess, defending is much harder than attacking. So h4 is just saying, you know, please take my pawn and open up the h-file for me, so at least I have something, I have some squares to attack in. Now, how does black react to this? It's a good question. So first of all, the first thing you should consider when your opponent plays a move like that, right, is what happens if I take the pawn. So first move I would consider here is bishop takes h4. Bishop takes h4, bishop takes h4, knight takes h4. So what is white's going to be, what is white's going to do here? How is he going to relieve how is he going to kick out this knight? Maybe some. I don't really see much of the problem with taking the pawn, although white's plan might be a little bit more long-term than that, right? White might just go knight e3 and start to develop some pieces and say, you know what, I just want to, you know, to get developed. Maybe even, you know, king f2. Some ideas might be f4, g3 at some point. It is interesting. I think it's g3 probably. King f2 and g3, yeah, something like this. So taking the pawn is one consideration. Of course, winning a pawn, okay, I kind of played down winning a pawn earlier and said that the game is probably not going to be decided by one pawn. But winning a pawn is still a thing, right? You're up a pawn, you have a material advantage, means you can always trade down to an endgame and use that material advantage there. But yeah, it's not like a game winning advantage, but it's definitely an advantage to have. So bishop takes h4, knight takes h4, both moves have to be considered. In fact, knight takes h4 is probably even better, because black probably doesn't want to take here an h4, unless, okay, maybe you want to play like g3. This looks a bit shaky. Black has the bishop pair. Sure, white's opening a file, but black's probably gonna blunt it with h6, and yeah. So both knight takes h4 and bishop takes h4 have to be calculated. Another move, now obviously black can't really ignore this, so black cannot really play a developing move like rook c8. You can see the evil bar is skyrocketing up already, because that allows h5, and if we could play h2 to h5 immediately, that would be an amazing thing for us. Um, so yeah, if we can put this pawn on h5, that is also quite a bit awkward for the knight. Probably forced to go to h4 regardless, or even back to h8. Then we can play h6. White gets quite a bit of momentum for the attack. So we can't ignore this move. So we have either got to take it or make a move like h5, which stops h4. Now the downside of h5 might be that this pawn is a little bit weak here on h5. So white might try to play something like bishop, like kick this bishop away, bishop e2, bishop takes h5, something like this. So h5 probably isn't very good here. So that's why the opponent, after some thought, Zach decided to take the pawn on h4, the bishop. And that probably will force a trade on h4, I think. Bishop takes h4, knight takes h4 is probably going to play it. So black is going to be up pawn up. And in return, white, Anna, is getting this open h file. So the game is about to spice up. Zach is quite has a bit of a time disadvantage, about 10 to 15 minutes behind on the clock, but he is up a pawn, so his position objectively is better. Anna takes on h4 with the bishop, and knight takes h4 is completely forced. We do hope that black touches his queen or something, but no, he took with the knight. Knight takes h4, and yeah, this is the position that we expected. Who is the commentator? You can use excellent host. Wow, the camera is a bit having some difficulties here. I can see again. Now it looks fixed. Now it looks fixed. Zach looks really good for someone who's born in 1951. That's a funny comment. I'm only watching the bonus game at the moment. I'm killing two with one stone as Alex's opponent did not show up, and they're showing d9 instead. Ooh, that's interesting. So Alex did get a no-show win. Okay. I don't know if I should feel happy or sad for it, but yeah. Knight x4, queen f4 to h2. Yeah, this is what I thought as well, like this queen f4 h2 idea. But the problem is that the pressure on the h file is not enough. Like black can always play the move h6, and we do not have a dark squared bishop anymore. So if we had a dark square bishop to sacrifice an h6, that would be amazing for us, but we don't. So yeah, I'm enough here. And Oliver says, I know it's a pawn, but I don't like this transformation for black, especially after knight d to e3. Again, there's only one knight who can go to e3. So knight e3 definitely is an interesting idea. We could be getting some squares here for the knights. Maybe this knight could actually jump out to g4 and help. So in case, maybe in case black goes for h6, we could sacrifice the knight instead of the bishop. So we could go like knight e3, knight g4, and potentially knight takes h6. So maybe this is a plan. So knight e3 is definitely a sensible move, I would say. Didn't get that. Please say again. Thank you. Who is the commentator? I said you can use exclamation mark host in the chat. My username is Akchat. I'm basically a member of Anna's community who is commentating. Not really a title player. I'm just a decent chess player, I would say, who I enjoy Anna's streams and she hired me to commentate for this tournament. Can we move our E-Knight start attack on... Oops, sorry. Start attack on the king side and trade off his bishop. Yeah, that's probably the plan. So the move 93 is definitely a consideration here. Feels like Anna made some progress with his pawn sack. Yeah, it is some progress. Of course, we had to pay the price for this progress. So we had to sacrifice some material for it. Yeah. So, 93 definitely a move here, as we said. Queen f4, knight g6, queen h2. So we looked a little bit at this earlier, and we said queen f4, knight g6, queen h2, and the problem here is this h6, and our attack is kind of blunted, like, and even now if we go 93, well, first of all, this might create a few problems with the d4 pawn. For instance, bishop takes c2, bishop takes c2, knight d4. This knight is coming to f5. So let's say knight g4, knight f5. It doesn't look like our attack is working, and we did lose another pawn in the process. So the immediate going for the h-file is probably not worth it, I would say. But the move 93 first, I think, is more solid. Now, as I said, she has sacrificed the pawn, but a pawn is not, you know, a game-winning advantage. So even if we go to some endgame where Anna is down a pawn, she could still be able to save the game. So it's not like it's the end of the world, but yeah. Okay, and it looks like she is playing king to f2, I believe. That's what she did, yeah. King to f2. So sacrificing a pawn and then moving the king. That is quite interesting. But it does make sense. And the idea of this move is Anna wants to play the move g3 to kick out this knight away without having to move her queen for that. So... yeah, the idea is to play the move g3 without the f3 pawn hanging. So Anna is putting a little bit of pressure again. And you see Zach immediately sat down at the board and is thinking, is like, what is this king f2 move? He probably didn't expect it. And yeah, he's like, how to deal. Of course, yeah, black will probably pull this knight back to g6 regardless. But that might give us a little bit of room. Maybe we are also preparing some f4, f5. I don't know. It looks like we could be in for something. And this knight, I like that now it's going to e3 and g4. So yeah, Anna-Maja just runs away. We saw her on Alexandra's stream. Yeah, she probably went maybe to the bathroom or something. I don't know. This shouldn't be a long thing. So you think that maybe knight g6 immediately, not even waiting for g3. That also makes sense. What I would like to notice is that, you know, the last few moves for both players have all been on the king side, and that's probably good for Anna, since that is where her chances lie. So as long as the focus of the game is on the king side, that is good for her. Now, black, of course, opened up the c file, But as I mentioned earlier, he hasn't really made any progress towards infiltrating the white position, like rook c8, rook c7, queen c8, maybe something like that. He hasn't really made any progress towards um, going to win the game from the queen side. He's mostly defending in the king's end. That in short term is good, but of course the position objectively still remains good for black. Okay. Maybe he could get something like knight g6, knight e3, and then f6 or f5 to give his king some room to breathe. Now, this is, I think, this is exactly the type of move that Anna is hoping for, I would say, because as long as you make these kingside moves, and especially pawn moves on the king side, it looks more and more dangerous. So let's say knight g6, knight to e3, and then you wanted to play the move f6. So first of all, white can trade here, and okay, that opens up the f file, but that also leaves this very weak pawn on e6. So you also have to be thinking about that. Like at some point, white might be able to install something on e5. Also, knight g4 is a tempo here. I'm not sure this position is that amazing for white, but it's definitely something to consider, that you've a little bit opened up your position to some extent. So yeah, that might be an idea. It doesn't look like it's solidifying though. It looks like you're opening up your own king. So I would say that as long as black makes this this pawn moves on the king side, this is exactly what Anna is hoping for in this position. That is my opinion, at least. Okay, Wisizak is thinking about playing a move. He's contemplating, and he's moving rook to e8. So he doesn't want to get the knight from h6 that he has. So he's playing rook to e8. Now rook to e8, probably that means we abandon the thought of f6 for the time being. Yeah, that means we are mostly looking at developing our piece. Now you see the engine didn't like rook e8 that much, but okay, that's just engine things, I think. It is a little bit slow. Like white is attacking on our king side, and we are just developing, but yeah, I don't know. Again, I like the move here. I like the move knight to e3 for white. So Anna's still having Anna's still like having some ideas here, I would say, to make this position feel a bit better. Maybe, yeah, maybe as Bob is saying, and the Storthope is also saying, he wants to play knight g6, knight f8. So maybe he does not want to weaken his king side with a move like h6, and he plans to... Actually, this is a very deep move. He plans to defend the king side with a move knight g6, knight f8. As the old saying goes, with a knight and f8 you can never be mate, or something like that. And that is true. That defends h7. The issue there is that there might be some other ideas for white there in this position. For instance, the g7 pawn might come under fire. White could bring this knight to e3, bring this other knight to h5, bring this knight to g4. I can see these horses being very annoying for black in the future. So, and especially as you can see, like he's gone down to 29 minutes. He probably has even less in real time. these horses can be very, very annoying in time pressure. So, sure, knight g6, knight f8 is a solid plan, but there are also other squares than h7 that, because this plan is a bit slow, white might be able to master an attack against. So, yeah, that is basically what I'm saying. Okay. Yeah, and Anna is thinking, I think the move knight e3 makes a lot of sense, right? That knight on d1 is not doing that much. Not sure if she wants to play g3 here. Maybe she does. I don't know. Maybe the knight from h4 could also go to f5. But if Black's plan is to go the knight to f8, maybe we just allow that and just start to build up our own attack with knight e3. I don't know. g3 could also be an interesting move. Knight g6, and then again we would need to play knight e3, and let's say black defends in advance with knight f8. We can maybe even think about taking on c4. In fact, so knight e3 also has, there are some ideas of taking this guy and then maybe opening up f4, bishop g2, bishop e4. This could also be an idea. So lots of ideas here for white, and c is going for knight e3. So that's a sensible move. Playing it also quite quickly, I would say, makes sense. And yeah, it's putting again the ball back on black's court to decide what move he wants to make, how he wants to defend against this attack, how he wants to continue with his own plans, perhaps on the queen side, which he has been ignoring for quite some time. And yeah, in general, that is that's pretty much what's happening. Is this Zach a GM or just an IM? Zach is not a title player. He's just he's just a normal guy, no title. His rating is 1950, 1951. So neither is the answer, I guess. And this, by the way, if you are not following, this is move number 18. So we're still not even halfway to the time control. And we can see Zach's time is already down to 20, 25 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes. So he's entering time trouble. Now, usually I define time trouble as when you have less than 1 minute per move to make. And Zach is quickly approaching that zone. Anna is building up this time advantage. Now, it's probably not 22 minutes as shown as this on the screen. Or, wait, no, my math are bad. It's probably not 18 minutes as shown on the screen, because Anna did think the majority of the last 15 minutes, I would say. So, I would say that Anna is maybe about 10 minutes up on time. Or maybe 15 minutes up. But Zach's time is definitely dwindling, and Zach is the defending side. Despite his up a pawn, he's probably the one with a harder task in the game. So you see, earlier in the opening, it was Anna who had to figure out the best squares for the pieces. It was a bit of a harder task because her position was a bit cramped, but now Zach is under a bit of pressure. So he needs to find good moves, and he needs to find good moves in quite quickly as well to keep his advantage. So let's see what will happen. He's making hand signs to the camera. Yeah, I don't think that is gonna help him. So yeah, I guess Anna should lay quiet to put pressure on his clock. I mean, yeah, the longer that Zach thinks here, the less time he will have for future moves. So that's definitely a good thing for us. And he's been playing really well so far, so I wouldn't say that he definitely feels like a guy who is capable of making good moves even in time trouble. So yeah, maybe it's maybe it's maybe it's yeah. He isn't happy. Oh, quicker. Oh, that's what you okay. He isn't happy with his position. Yeah, I think he's realizing that maybe I have to defend here a little bit. And defending is where most of the mistakes are made in chess. So that's probably good for Anna in this case. Did Zach forget to press the clock? No, he hasn't made a move. Okay, let me update this a little bit. So yeah, we're waiting for his move here. Whose move it is? It's black move. Let's go, Zach. Take that win. Believer? Wait, this is Anna's stream, sir. Are you sure you're supporting the correct player? I would move my knight back, otherwise the queen is kind of stuck. Anna-Maja has pressed the clock, but the online virtual ball her clock is ticking. Oh, that's why people are getting confused. So guys, this board, the clocks are not correct. The clocks are the clocks that were 15 minutes ago, because the board is delayed. So it is black to move. So I would say Anna-Maja has maybe about 35 minutes here, and Zach has about 22 minutes or something like this. So so yeah, the clocks are wrong. It's not white to move, it's just black to move. Now, people are suggesting the move knight to g6. Knight to g6 is definitely a move that makes sense. We have to consider also that this move knight e3 attacks this bishop. So does black want to give this bishop away? Is definitely a good question, because I do see an idea here. Knight takes c4, d takes c4, f4, maybe something like this. I do see the g3 in the future. This bishop getting active via g2 is definitely a move. So knight takes c4 also has to be taken into account. Now Blue Boy wants me to update him from the start of the game. I will do that, I guess, since Zach is thinking. So he said your last move you saw was e5. So okay, we're gonna skip the opening, and we're gonna go to the move e5. Let me. Okay, I have to. I guess I have to do this like this, right? Okay, it looks like he made a move. He played. Did anyone see what he did? Okay, yeah, no, he moved the knight back to g6. Okay, that's what he did. So e5 is the last move you saw. And let's look a little bit how the game went from there. So c5. Wait, was c5 played or no? Bishop a6 was played, right? Blue Boy, you're always confusing me, man. No, what was played here is castles. Castles, not h4. Queen d2, bishop a6. That was played. So black is playing. Black was playing bishop a6 and knight to d1. So that was the move that was chosen. And we said that is a bit clumsy, but Anna was probably looking to move this pawn back to c3. So c5, c3 was played. Knight c6, b4. So Anna's taking a little bit of space on the queen side. Zach played the move not f6. Again, Chess.com is kind of messing here. He took on d4. That is the move he played. C takes d4. We took back with the pawn. And not rook c8 again. Seems like I'm not really helping me here. Bishop c4 was the move made. I'm sorry for being a bit weird with the variations. I do not remember the moves that were made. Bishop c4 was played, and I think it was at this moment in which Anna sacrificed the pawn with the move h4. Right. So Anna sacrificed the pawn, h4, and Black took it. He pretty much has to take it because otherwise h5 is going to be very precarious for him. Bishop takes h4, bishop takes h4, knight takes h4. Anna played king f2 here, and he played rook e8, knight to e3, knight to g6, and Anna has just made a move, and she's made the move knight e3 to g4. So it's moving this knight up the board, maybe looking at some f6, h6 squares, looking to attack a little bit. And basically saying that if you put this knight on f8 to defend h7, then my knight is going to be a problem on the f6 square, and the h6 square is going to attack quite a lot of squares. So this is the position's about to spice up. Now the engine thinks this is completely winning for black, or much better for black. I just have to, yeah, that's what I said, knight g4. I didn't say, yeah, I said knight e3, just, okay. I did not mean that there are two knights. So, knight to g4. Okay, and if you're saying, like, what is this guy doing moving back and forth in the board, you can either blame Blueboy or blame chess.com. Both commands would work, I think. What is the clock situation? Well, those are the clocks from 15 minutes ago, as you know. I would say Anna has about 35 minutes here. Zach has about maybe 20 minutes. Something like that. Or 18 minutes. And he has to make 20 moves with those. So Zach has to defend this position with quite a little bit of time pressure. Yeah, and Anna is putting some pressure on the king side. So even if the engine doesn't like it, in practice, it is quite hard to face, I would say. To see these horses jumping around, I can definitely see Zach making a mistake here with low time. Today's a free day in Greece. Yeah, today's like a holiday. It is called the Clean Monday. So yeah, it's the start of 40-day fasting until Easter. It's just Orthodox Church things. Yeah. Hello, Alberto. By the way, welcome. Hope Anna wins. But yeah, we do hope so too. Okay, so can he just ignore the king side here? Depends for how long do you want to ignore it. I mean, at some point, you know, this knight might also land to f4. It might also go to h5. Knight f6 would be an idea. I mean, it depends. Maybe he can make a few moves on the queen side. To be honest, he hasn't made any, right? So Black hasn't really made any progress on the queen side. And I can see his camera right now, and he is looking at the king side. So he is looking at the side of the board he has to defend. So I wouldn't expect him to make a move on the king side. This is a sign which sometimes differentiates, you know, the really strong players. they do play on all sides of the board. Here, you see, he was making very nice inroads on the queen side, but as soon as Anna sacrificed this pawn on h4, the play has been exclusively on the king side. So that is probably good for Anna. It means that both players are concerned with the king side, which is the side in which Anna has the advantage. Anna has the open file towards the black king, and Anna has quite a few pieces that are ready to hop into the action. Black only has this knight defending for the time being. So that situation definitely helps us. Also, the time situation definitely helps us. He's been thinking for quite some time. He probably has to make a move. He is in quite a bit of time trouble already. He might have to bleed out the remaining moves and just hope for the best. He is moving the knight back to f8. So that is kind of a safe move, and you can see the engine hates this move. The evil is jumping, and white is suddenly on the driver's seat. So you can see this relatively safe move, but it's just too passive. The knight will jump to g3, the knight will jump to h5. White has just way too many pieces. Yes, with the knight on f8 you can never be mate, that's what they said, but white has a lot of other squares other than h7 then she can attack. So Anna suddenly now has a big advantage, despite being a pawn down. So this shows why you guys shouldn't trust the evil bar. Because one move, and it can change its mind, right? It can change the entire evaluation of the game. What move number are we on? We are on move number 20. So Anna is thinking here on her 20th move. Both players are in quite a bit of time trouble. And yeah. So this position was -2. The evaluation was -2. I think the best move recommended by the engine, I quickly saw that it might not be true, was b5. So stabilizing the queen side, you know, a little bit of changing the direction of play, maybe threatening some a5. Black should have shifted the side of play towards the queen side, right? Instead, he played knight f8. This gives up some critical squares like f4, h4, and now the evaluation is actually +2 for white. So white is the equivalent of being up 2 pawns, despite being actually down a pawn. So that might mean that black has to give up the equivalent of a piece in order to stop the attack. And the move knight to g3 for me kind of suggests itself. The knight is going towards h5 and f6, and the knight is going to be very strong on the king side. Vlad is saying knight h6 is winning. Don't see why the evil would spike. I don't think knight h6 is a good move here. h7 is defended. We have to be careful. Such position like this is probably not so good, because h7 is defended. Okay, Vlad cannot hear me, so I will make arrows. We need to attack the g7 square. So Anna plays what I think is the best move. We can get it confirmed with the evil bar. Knight to g3. And knight to g3, it is indeed the best move. So the idea here is we want to play knight to h5 and attack on f6. This is the square protected by the pawn. And we're also opening up maybe for the queen to come to h6. Imagine 3 pawns going for h7. So knight g3 is a very good move, building up the attack. There is also ideas of f4 and f5. So Anna is definitely on the driver's seat now. The tables have turned, and she is in a good path to win this game, especially as Zach's time is dwindling down. He's played very slowly in this game. We're in move 20, and a good rule of thumb I always use, right, is to have 45 minutes by move 20. That is what one of my coaches told me. I did used to have big time management problems. Uh, and he was saying, yeah, you should aim for 45 minutes. Now, Anna is herself quite a bit below that mark. She has about 30, 35 minutes, I would say. But Zach has 10 minutes, I would say. 10 to 15, maximum 15. So that is not enough. You cannot make 20 good moves in the middle game with 15 minutes, unless you're like a GM or something. So I would say he's very nervous, about time. He's very nervous about defending. The psychological side of things, of this move h4, kind of worked out for him. It was a bit of a gamble. Anna has been using quite a bit of psychology to turn the tables, I would say. So black moves knight to e7. And you see the evil is spiking up even more. Knight to e7 is not a good move. Why can I tell it's not a good move? Well, it blocks the queen from defending f6. So knight to h5, going to f6. I think this is going to be the winning idea here for white. So why did Zach play knight f8? I mean, guys, it's easy to say, to look at the engine and criticize the moves that are classified as blunders by the engine. But please don't do that. Right? I mean, knight f8 is a logical move. This is a very common pattern. The knight on f8 defends the pawn on h7. Now, why did black play knight f8? Well, he was nervous about the attack. He was nervous and tried to defend. He tried to defend too much, and he tried to defend too passively. The issue with knight f8, why is this move bad, is that h7 is actually not the main target of white's attack. So, yes, the h-file is open and h7 is a target, but there is also other targets. These knights are hoping. So, I guess white missed this plan of using the f6 and g7 squares. In general, the dark square weaknesses, because black doesn't have a dark square bishop anymore in the attack. So I mean, the move knight f8 is perfectly logical, despite being a blunder. It's not like white missed the tactics. So what happened from here? Knight g3, knight to e7. You see, Anna is very confident now. Knight to h5. And you can see Anna, she was looking worried, but now she looks confident. She says, knight to h5, the kill is close, Knight to f6, very big threat. I don't even think white can take here. We might be able to even take with a pawn and install our queen on h6. That also might be a good idea. So knight h5 was played. Zach, of course, is not getting anywhere close to time control. He has very, 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 very little time to make his moves. And yeah, as Larbo on YouTube is saying, great time management. Once again, Anna has kept the time advantage. Despite the bad position, she's found ways to question black. And this is where the experience and the strength of a high-rated player is. This is why people like me, people like Zach will lose to 2200 players. Because even when we get a good position out of the opening, they know how to navigate these middle games. They know how to navigate these middle games quickly, and they can put a lot of pressure, forcing the other side to be very, very accurate. So, as Blue Boy says, body language says it all. Zach is very, very, deep in his thoughts. He's probably realizing that, this attack is very, very scary. And he knows that he doesn't have much time to deal with it. So, knight h5, white is completely winning. Does this mean the game is over? Probably not. Like, white could still blunder here. We're still down a pawn. So, Anna still has to be accurate. Anna has to not get ahead of herself. But I would say the attacking plan kind of plays itself. Like, you want to install a knight here. In fact, even knight takes g7 might be a move. At the move knight e7, I guess black was hoping to put a knight on f5. The problem with that is that I guess the problem is that there is an eventual g4 kicking it, I would say. In general, yeah, this black has too few pieces defend. This rook on e8 is not really helping anyone in the defense. The knight on f8 is just defending one square, which is not really even the main focus. The main focus here are the dark squares. This knight is maybe defending, especially if it goes to f5, but again, it can be kicked away with the pawn on g4. So Zach is realizing that things might not be, you know, all bright for him. So knight g7 is an idea, queen g5 is an idea, which is why I didn't like knight e7, because queen g5 is a big idea now. Knight f6 idea. So yeah, white is winning. Oh, and as Cruz is saying in chat, Nordi managed to beat the rated player, beat John Blue at 1668. Very good result for Nordi, who is definitely going to get his FIDE rating after this tournament. And yeah, we should congratulate him if he comes in the chat. And yeah, that's a really good result for him. Nice. Okay, and let's see if we have like if we have a double of the Dutches against the Englishman. So yeah, knight f6, knight g7, all of these are ideas. Even the other knight could go to f6. That's also an idea. Queen to g5 is an idea. Basically, white is crashing through. Black has very, very little time here. Like, I think black's time management is what caused all his troubles. He is going for knight to f5. So knight to f5, that's probably the move that makes the most sense. But now, question is, can we install a knight on f6? I would go for this knight to f6. Good game, Nordi. Congrats for your win. Congrats for your win. Please interview your winner. I mean, okay, I don't know what should I say, but big congrats. Big congrats. Yeah, so I would be thinking about putting this knight on f6. Why? Because that opens the way for the move g4. And the move g4 is going to kick this defender knight away, and then the g7 square is very, very weak. Notice that black cannot put this knight on e6 to defend g7 because this e6 is blocked by a pawn. So it is going to be okay. I mean, I had to do it. My daily roast of the friends. One more time, the friends falling victim to a kingside attack, even if it was a bit unsound. I mean, when you put your pawns like this, your bishop is not helping at all on the kingside. These knights have all the ground to roam freely. And yeah, knights just overpowering, I would say. So knight gf6 is, I'm pretty sure, the winning move here. There are probably other winning moves, but this looks like the cleanest, right? So knight gf6, I would expect g takes f6, knight takes f6, and maybe even some queen to g5 maybe here. Going for some queen g8. This knight cannot move because of rook takes h7. So yeah, this looks GG. This looks like we're going to take this bishop, we're going to double up on the h file, and yeah, this looks like completely winning for white. So I would say knight g to f6 is probably the best move. So we are going to see some fireworks on the board soon, I would say. And I'm sorry for ignoring the chat a little bit. That kingside attack looks unstoppable. Well, yeah, I agree with that. So, okay, there are people congratulating Nordi. Yes, big congrats. Um, Sid is commentating like a winner. Okay. Oh, you have a slight cold. Wow. Wow. Look at this man winning despite being sick. He's definitely, yeah. I mean, very nice. Very nice. So let's see. Let's see. Anna is still, of course, calculating. Now, she might go wrong here. She might just blunder something. Or she might be too slow. So I I don't know. But I think she's gonna find the best. Like judging by, I mean, I've attacked the friends many times, sometimes unsuccessfully, sometimes successfully. This one looks like one of the times that the attack's gonna be successful. Like as it's the Mikhail Tal rule. Now, if you guys don't know the Mikhail Tal rule, the Mikhail Tal rule is you need to have 4 pieces attacking for your attack to succeed. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we do have 4 pieces, and that means our attack is probably going to be successful. White has just 1 piece defending, and Anna is going with it. Knight G to F6, check. And this has to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. The queen is going to G5. The queen's opening up the way to G5. This knight probably can't be taken because the G file opens up. Chess.com is trolling me again. Chess.com is always trolling me, man. Okay, what were the moves? Knight G3. Knight E7. That was a bit of a blunder. Knight H5. Knight F5. Knight Gf6. And I think he realizes there isn't much hope for him. Camera might melt soon. No. Okay, so he is taking the knight, GF, but probably he realizes now that. Okay, and Anna immediately replacing the knight that was lost. We are sacrificing a piece. Knight takes F6 check. King has to move. King G7 or King H8. Unfortunately, White also has this G4 idea. That is also very strong. That is why we moved the knight away from G4. So this G4 idea will remove the last defender, the last fortress, the last barricade before the checkmate, is to remove this knight from F5 that is defending the dark squares, G7 and H6. Once this knight is removed, our queen is coming in. I mean, our queen can already come into G5, so Queen G5 is definitely a big threat, especially if the king goes to H8. If the king goes to H8, Queen G5, I think this is unstoppable mate, because knight cannot move away from F8, because rook takes H7 is mate. So, yeah, Queen G5 is definitely a move. So knight F6, black has to think. I think this game ends here and now. This game will end in the last 5 moves or something. What if he doesn't take the knight? Well, if he didn't take the knight, then we would still continue building up with G4. So if he went King H8, G4 I think would be winning move. Because that kicks away the knight, and then our queen could still slide all the way to G5. So I hope that covered you. Yeah, I think he might resign soon. I mean, he'll probably get checkmated here. I mean, we might even see a checkmate on the board. And yeah, as people say, this is all, that tactical training, right? Even in a position that was unsound, she sacrificed the pawn with H4. She forced her opponent to play on the king side, which is the side he didn't want to play. And he made one too many kingside moves with knight F8. He gave a little bit too much ground for the attack to succeed. This is what often happens. I could see myself in Zach's shoes here. I have lost many games like that, where I was much better out of the opening. My opponent started making some random attack, and I completely collapsed, because defending is very hard in chess. So yeah. Did I miss? No, he didn't move yet. Okay. So yeah, everything is winning. G4 is winning. Queen G5 I think is also winning. I like the move G4 because it's very thematic, removing the defender, and yeah, I don't think black is surviving beyond move 30. So 23rd move by the way, Zach is moving the king to h8. He's had enough, and now G4, Queen G5, two great moves. I'm sure Anna will play one of them. I don't know what will her preference be. Both moves are completely winning in my opinion. The engine here claims plus 15, so maybe black will have to give up the queen or something to survive here. White is completely winning basically. So and C is playing queen G5. Queen G5 has a very subtle threat of queen G8 checkmate. I don't see how black survives that. Actually, this might be forced mate. Yeah, because black cannot play knight G6 because of this. Knight G7 maybe staves the mate for a little bit longer, but here we might even go queen H6 and sacrifice the queen on H7. That would be a nice way to end the game. Queen takes H7, knight takes H7, rook H7 mate. He is going for it. So knight G7, and I think now queen H6 is winning. Queen H6. Queen H6 with the idea queen takes H7. Anna should be able to see this move. The evil gives black a chance. She plays queen H6. I don't think it's forced mate because black can give up the queen, but I think now black has to resign. Like either give up the queen or resign. Or allow the mate. If I was black here, I would maybe allow the mate for sportsmanship. So queen takes H7 is the threat here. We are going for the queen sack. We are going for all the content. Clip the hell out of this. C is going to sack the queen. So yeah, I mean the game result I think is beyond any doubt. I think black will resign here. I wouldn't be surprised. That F3 line is fantastic. Yeah, I mean 2 out of 2 with a fantasy Caro-Kann. I mean I hope that Anna stops complaining about the Caro-Kann. She's found a great line against it. And she's won 2 very, very quick games. Like under 30 moves, both of them. So yeah, I mean this game is over. It's GG. It should be GG. Zach also probably has like 3 minutes right now, so. And yeah, this pawn sack with h4. I mean, in a position where it was -2, it was hopeless according to the engine. I mean, someone in chat saying Anna should resign or something. She found that pawn sacked, spice up the game a little bit. At least, try to attack the opponent, and it paid off. And yeah. Okay, Tzizagom is trolling me again. I think the game is over. Yeah, and she is checkmating. We have checkmate on the board. 1-0 is the result. Queen sack, queen takes h7, rook h7. I will show the end of the game. So knight f5. Yeah, he allowed the checkmate. So great sportsmanship by the opponent. I will show how the game finished in a moment. Knight gf6, gf6, knight f6, king h8, queen g5, knight g7, queen h6, knight f5. I think this is what he played. And she took, I believe she took on h7, knight takes h7, rook takes h7. So checkmate on the board. Move 27. Glamdring would be happy with a 27 move game. They're analyzing for a little bit. And nice and simple win, as GM Solver will say. Queen takes f8 was also checkmate, by the way. Yeah, queen takes f8, rook takes f8, rook h7. But queen h7 is more classy, right? We're giving up the queen for a pawn. And yeah, this is this is a great start to the day. Don't forget there is an evening round in just over 4 hours from now. So yeah, this is just the first game of the day done. Very nice win. Again, Karokan, I would say the French destroyed once again. I will say that because it looked like a French. And yeah, it's a great game. Okay, so Anna's taking the camera away. I will put on my headphones and get ready to call her. And Nordi, congrats on your win again, by the way. And Anna is due to face I think some 2400, 2500 player next round. So that will be exciting. She will also be black. So, okay, let me put on the headphones. Turn on the sound. And go here. A little bit of a different layout. And Anna-Maja will be with us shortly. Poggered. People are inventing emotes in the chat. Yeah, that was very quick. Less than 3 hours. I think it might have been shorter than the round one game. Okay, I'm texting her to join when she's ready. I think there are a few streamers around 2. I think most streamers are better than 2.2 out of 5, but we'll see. Anna-Maja is on 3.5 out of 5, so great score for her, and yeah, she's on. She's definitely on a great score. If I'd known Anna would be this quick, I might have waited there. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you're analyze. Okay. Okay. Let's call her. They're going to analyze the game, guys. So we might get. If Nordi, you're not there, right? You left. So we won't have a camera. But okay.
Hello.
Hey, congrats on your win.
Thank you. Thank you. We're looking for a place to analyze. It's a little crowded in the analysis room.
Oh, but you finished quite early, no?
But yeah, but clearly others did too. You hear how crowded it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's literally no seats. Yeah, we can take a board. Yeah. Uh. Yeah. Thanks. Let me turn on the cam. Oh. Oh no.
Yeah, going into this.
Okay, guys, I'm putting Anna on camera. We can't hear you, by the way. I can't hear you at least. You're muted.
I did the thing again. I can hear you
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, okay. Nice.
Okay.
So guys, Anna's going to analyze with her opponent, so we'll just take a look at them, I guess.
Yeah, I guess the opening was not great, right? first
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I was like, I do check lines briefly, but I was so tired, and I was like, okay, I don't think you play e6, but if you play, at least like I'm a little bit familiar with the structure somewhat. But then I wasn't sure what to do anymore, so I just played knight c3, and I remember bishop f4, and I remember when I saw this, I was like, such a strange move. Like I'm used to this, but what is the bishop doing here? So I didn't really understand what the ideas were in this position, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's a move queen d3.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Yeah, I did consider it, but then I was like, I thought the queen was misplaced because if you done
Yeah, the only line I know in this opening is queen d6, d6.
Oh, so it was like, okay.
That's some line.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just thought it was such an awkward move.
Yeah, no, I don't understand queen d3,
Yeah.
because if you just go to e3.
Yeah. Yeah, so I really have no idea what to do. Yeah, this is called awkward as well.
On color, but which one is the e7 spread one?
Yeah, makes sense. And yeah, like, I started to regret playing bishop before because I just don't understand what I'm doing with this piece. Like, preferably I just put it here and I'm safe, but I thought since I played bishop before, I have to go to g3.
No, that's my first time.
But then it's like admitting that I wasted the phone. And I didn't to do that.
You begin to play tournament with it, and you decide to be serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm here more for fun, for the island.
A3 now.
Yeah, maybe a3 is not.
Yeah, a couple of times.
Probably. Yeah, I just wish
If
to
you
get
want
rid
to
of
cast the
that.
queen side.
You haven't seen it a lot, have you?
Yeah, I want to get rid of that bishop because I didn't like at some point take here.
Or was it close to it? Yeah, probably a3 is good.
So you spent some
Oh,
days.
it's hard to say.
Yeah, and then
Last Monday.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, like you provoked A3 in that way.
Yeah, it's not a lot happening.
It's good.
Okay, so yes.
Yes.
Only you can by train.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can't cast a lot.
Yeah, there's like so many tricks as well. You just play C5, C4, and there's D6, C4. If I take one, there's bishop C5 idea. So that's why I want to put on the center, but in hindsight,
Yes, and you take the center.
Yeah, if you have four, I use it. It's like hard to find a move. It's hard to find.
Maybe you can cast.
yeah, that's the thing.
Then they bluff
But I really feel like some positions just slowly falling.
too fast.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not in time to develop, yeah.
And then I would have well.
Yeah, it's not good.
I thought
yes,
I
it
think
doesn't really work. I mean, you know,
I never cast. I thought this, but it's never actually.
Oh,
well, yeah,
Right.
see,
no, but I can't do it.
Thank you for it.
Yeah, I really hated this, but I had no.
Yes, yes.
It was annoying.
Yeah.
This doesn't.
No, it's not.
That's like because I was wondering if I f6.
I had four.
Nine.
Yeah.
I thought you were
Yeah.
F6. Nine.
Yeah, well, sure, it's okay.
Yeah, it's also.
Easy.
I just thought if we take on G6, you
We need to also. Sure, it's okay.
and like
Would you?
you don't need to take on E5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be fine.
If you then play F5 and
Thing. This.
just like slowly push on the king side.
Okay, something nice.
So yeah, we really couldn't play F6 here. With that pick, I think that was very good.
So far,
And Bishop C4 was really strong. That was
because
really yeah. And I just didn't know what to do. I was like, I was stunned, because I see this move and I'm like, partially hoping it's not happening, but it's played it down. Like I don't know what to do, so I had to take risk with H4.
Yeah, it's definitely a mistake.
Yeah, I really
Literally,
think.
castle now. Trade probably castle never. Yeah. And then I saw this queen.
Yeah, this bishop is so bad.
Promising.
It's such a bad piece, and you need this bishop.
You don't see the better ones.
I was thinking, like, first of all, the bishop hangs, right?
And I was
Yeah, of course.
thinking to take
I guess
two, and
Then I was thinking, like, first of all,
Yeah.
just play anything I could castle.
that's why I sacrificed the
Because
that nice
castle,
pretty
I got this idea.
piece, and I thought my bishop was
Yes.
So I
just trade it off and
But let's say
hope
you
that my
just
knights
this
activate somehow. Because soon I maybe get like E3,
and wait.
5.
Yeah, pretty was the idea.
Maybe I'm not in a
Thought
rush.
about
Just like yeah,
five, but he stays a bit better.
Maybe.
I guess so.
Yeah, it just feels like there's no attack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this was nice. It's a bit tough.
I always have some chances. So you have to be careful.
What's the
At least I kind of stopped your queen-sided side somewhat. So that's why I played h4. Like, it's kind of a desperate move. Because if I just sit and wait, you're just pushing on the queen side.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is, I think, still pretty complicated, but much better for you should be. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you have, like, better ways to defend, but it's just, the attack is very Oh, yeah, I guess
So let's go here.
this one was here, so I could connect to.
Like this usually feeling all of it.
Okay, or maybe yeah. This
You can get
why you want to do that? Okay. Maybe it's a good idea, but not in this position.
Maybe my
Yeah, it doesn't work yet. I have to know it doesn't work.
the f6 and just open the f5
Yeah,
to annoy me.
that's too aggressive.
Because they play what's it? They don't know when.
Sounds a bit.
C4 images.
Yeah, I was that's first hand. Over. Just have to
And here you can.
Yeah, it's not right. Really?
Yeah, it's made.
Yeah, probably not. I thought afterwards
Maybe
we have to
for knight f5.
shut the one. Except that it didn't.
It's really okay, and now it's very tricky for you.
Okay,
Well, very difficult.
you can just capture at any point on the nice.
Yes,
Literally just prolong it. So it doesn't matter. There's no way of not
I don't
doubling the pawn. Yeah, we'll lose it. That's fine.
93.
I can play this, but I can.
Yeah, exactly. You know about that? Like these, yeah, there's some reason I decided to do these two.
It doesn't feel right.
These two, yeah, because I want to play queen.
Yeah.
I thought about
But it's difficult
Oh no, okay, yeah, was it right? Yeah, thanks.
with the knight here.
Okay, so it's like,
Very annoying.
Yeah,
yeah.
I did see this as
I
well.
can't move this one.
Yeah.
Idea. And it things.
No, I think I played here.
Bishop.
No, sorry.
Yeah, like I have something, and it's like a little shaky here. So
Yeah.
It's too powerful.
something like
It's very difficult.
takes h7. Yeah, and the queen takes the knight spin.
Yeah.
No, I think
There's too many tactics in the position.
it's already a compromise.
Yeah, I'd have to give up the pawn.
I can take immediately.
I also thought about that when you were going to
Yeah.
possibly, but even then, this isn't so bad for me.
It's not so bad.
It's like you've got no attacks, but then
Yeah.
I thought about a lot playing this.
Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah.
castling,
Oh yeah.
but that's also like it's
I come here.
yes.
Then okay, you castle.
You're gonna be careful.
Yeah, it's fun, but
Yeah.
there's no way of actually
I
defending
can
this pawn.
also.
It's pretty big
Let's
version.
say this one. You can castle.
Also,
I go here.
oh yeah.
Then you never can move because I snake. So you here. This one is already.
Yeah, I have to
It's easy, not easy for black here.
have to sack this pawn.
I don't know where.
I mean, queen here. I
Say yeah, okay. So here.
Yeah.
just
I don't know.
I think there's a note up here.
Yeah, well,
No, wait. So, I feel like just capturing the pawn is perfect. So nice.
yes, it's okay also. I come here and then I will capture.
Oh yeah. It's something.
Yeah, so
So maybe that was
I
better.
think my
Then I
knight g4.
Oh, yeah.
But you were no wait. I played knight e3, you went
it's
back,
very difficult.
right? And then knight g4.
And the bishop is fantastic.
And I think then you went back? Is that how it happens?
Yeah, but already this is so passive.
Yes.
yeah,
This is already trouble.
Yeah.
Come in and
Then in the game, I think there was
I
no.
don't know how he. Oh yeah,
No.
yeah. I did consider this at first, but I didn't like this, so I had to play knight g3. I think
And
the same thing.
just can't get this out.
Yeah,
Knight c4, knight
Yeah.
c5, yeah, castle.
yeah. I don't know how black can defend this. I mean, they're just coming in, and maybe you can maybe there's some optimal way to try to defend and sacrifice in exchange or something.
I thought,
And then
You
here,
don't have anything left
maybe here,
in
no?
the game.
no, as soon as the knight gets here, you never play like that. Stuff.
Yeah, I was
No,
coming.
no, I think it's also
too over.
difficult.
I think this just generates too much pressure.
Maybe it goes even
Yeah,
faster.
sorry, I think
Maybe
I mean, I don't know. Was there any defense after?
this and this.
If you're still here, active.
I'm here.
Was there any defense after knight g4?
Did you
Knight
play?
g3?
Knight.
I
Actually,
didn't
the
think
losing
we
move
would
according to
play
the
that.
engine is knight
I
f8.
should play this.
He should have just
Roll.
ignored it and kept the knight on g6, I guess, because that prevents a lot of your attack, like on g5.
So that should have been on g6. Like that was a losing move.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So he
So what-
had to like play on the queen
Okay,
side a little
what-
bit, like b5, queen b6. Just ignore it and try
that's
to
such an illusion
get
move.
players.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah,
like
but-
very counterintuitive, right?
You're in something like
Yeah.
Yeah, but here,
Yeah, and that's the thing with
So-
that's what I was trying to do here, to just try to distract you on the king side and hope for the best.
yes,
And
sorry.
because once it gets overwhelming, that's when mistakes happen, right? But yeah, it's absolutely insane that you can do something like this here.
similar idea.
But I guess there's no real threat right now.
Here, you need to do that.
Yeah. That's what I liked in the game as well.
But you can
You
see
have to play here. So,
no queen to set.
Yeah, I didn't remember that the bishop was picked.
So I don't have knight f6 yet. I need to get my knight here.
Yeah, I really forgot that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's,
For some reason, I forgot. You could just
yeah, so you, I don't see how you can,
stop calculating.
the only thing I can blunder, maybe, it's here. Still here.
yeah, just bring my knights
I
and
think
knight
if I
f6.
take here,
That's it. Like you just can't get.
easy, you know?
Yeah, this
And
right, so-
instead of taking here,
Huh?
I take here because I win the.
Yeah, I think that's
The queen is here, and I would have known.
Yes,
I did
exactly.
think of that.
My-
Because I thought, I mean, if
Yeah,
it's tough.
And I don't know.
Because we should take it earlier and like go for the before somehow.
Yeah, that's a
That's what I
blunder.
was hoping for.
This was a blunder.
I was so
At least some part of the attack would be less of it.
Maybe I can
Mhm.
steal this one.
I mean,
Mate, you.
still,
Yeah, but I
well,
think. I don't think so.
Good luck.
yeah, they were looking at the rest of
Thank
it.
you. Alright, hello. I'm so sorry for leaving you hanging here.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't think we captured much of it because you were guys like three people talking. We couldn't really hear much, but okay, it's okay.
I know. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's
Doesn't
so
matter.
crowded in this building. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, but okay. So yeah, I mean, basically
That's
what?
okay. No, I was so relieved.
Yeah, your opening
Yeah.
wasn't that
Sorry.
amazing. I mean, people wanted to. We had quite a lot of Zach's
Wait,
fans
what?
in the chat, and they were rooting for him, and they were saying, you know, Zach is doing good. Let's go.
Wait, you're cutting out so badly.
Oh, you can't hear
Wait,
me?
give me a second. I'm gonna turn off the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, better now.
Okay.
Okay,
So
sorry, what did you say about the opening?
yeah, we had a lot of Zach's fans in the chat, some English guys, I guess, and they were saying Zach is doing great in the opening. Let's go. And yeah, they didn't like your opening that much. But then after you pushed stage 4, you managed to put him
I
on the
didn't
defensive.
either.
and-
I didn't.
Yeah, I guess you managed to put him on the defensive, and then he
I
did
had to
defend
challenge
well.
him somehow.
Yes, this h4 I think was a really good psychological move, I would say.
I have to do something. If I just sit and wait, he comes with b5, a5, and I'm lost. I was like very terrified.
Exactly,
And,
yeah.
You know, I can lose that pawn on the h file because I have a rook. But it's actually crazy that I have 3 undeveloped pieces.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny because it's like a friend's position, right? And your bishop on f1 is worse than the bishop, which is supposed to be the bad bishop.
Yeah, I played the French like I played the French with black. Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
oh, I'm sure you enjoyed that position a lot.
I mean, I enjoyed the French getting destroyed once again by kingside attack. So,
I really didn't expect e6 to happen. You know, I was telling myself you should check it out one more time because I did not remember what to play against e6. And then he played it and I'm like, I didn't check this anymore. I don't know what
yeah.
to do.
But okay, he probably didn't know, like, the French positions, right? Because he's a Caro-Kann player. That's what we thought.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, but he played super well. Bishop c4 was such a good move. I was terrified. That was so good.
by the way, Nordi won. People are excited
Yay!
about that as well. So yeah,
That's awesome! Yay!
congrats him as well.
Amazing! Yay! Oh, the camera didn't die?
No, the camera was fine. I mean, there was some, like, it was trying to die, but it came back, and yeah, so it was fine.
When I looked at the timer of the camera, it said that it was 2 hours and 57 minutes. So I thought, oof, in 3 minutes would have been dead.
Yeah, probably, yeah. I mean, that's what people were saying too in the chat. Like, we managed to win before 3 hours.
Yeah, that's why I was also playing a little faster at the end. I mean, I just see the lines. I don't need to think more than this.
I mean, he was in time pressure as well, right? He had too little time.
Yeah, a few minutes.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I
So
had 30 minutes at the end.
it's crazy because like the evil was like -3 at some point, and he plays Knight of Fate and it goes from like -2 to +3, which is crazy
That's
because
crazy.
yeah, because Knight of Fate is like you played Knight C6 to go back to the Fate defense, but apparently 8-7 is not like the target point for your attack. Like your target point is G7, and Knight of Fate doesn't help with that. So yeah, that's why it's
That's
bad.
crazy, but I don't understand how that position is -2. Like, how? Like, I get it, he's up a pawn, and if he can hold, maybe he can be better, but -2?
Yeah, I think the computer just ignores it. I don't know. Some people said B5, Queen B6, some kind of stuff like that. Because your king is also on F2, right? So
Yeah,
Queen
I
B6
did think of
makes
such
sense.
moves that D4 is weak, and if you get D4, then I can see why it's really good, but I didn't believe it. I thought way too slow. And also, you know, when you're playing a low-rated player, you just know that when you attack them, they get overwhelmed. So I
Exactly,
was
yeah.
not worried at all.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I told the chat
Like,
as well. Like,
how?
as long as the moves happen on the king side where Anna is attacking, we're great. Like, don't look at the evil
Yeah.
bar. This is gonna convert this. And that's what happens. So yeah. Because I know how
Yeah.
bad players play, like me. You know, they make too many defensive moves and they lose.
No, it's very typical. It's very typical. When you're the high-rated player and like you're in slightly worse position, you just have to attack, and your opponent will collapse one way or the other. Because I mean, computer can defend, but they're not computer.
Yeah. See, Chad, learn your lessons from a good player.
Chad was stressed out. Oh. Okay, I was also stressed, but once he took with the knight on with the bishop on h4, I was like, oh, I like this. I like where this is going.
Yeah, maybe knight takes was better. I don't know.
Yeah, we
He
were
keeps
talking
the
about it. I
bishop.
said knight to h4 is like
He keeps the
definitely
bishop
much better
defending
because
dashboards.
bishop e7 is so good, like attacking b4, and my bishop is so bad. So, yeah.
So,
Anyway.
yeah, just want to point out this a3 move I didn't like in the opening because you moved his bishop to a better square, right? So bishop
Yeah,
e7 stops your h4 ideas. Bishop on b4
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah, I didn't know where my pieces were going. Like, I knew that bishop f4 was the move, but then I'm like, I don't like it here. I want to put it
Yeah.
back on e3, but that's so weird. And then I played a3 because I was scared, you know, like d takes e4, f takes e4, some c5, first c5 and then take on e4, something like this. I didn't like those ideas that he could have. I didn't understand the position. Like, it kind of felt like the French with bishop b4. What is it called? The Winnower. And I don't know anything about this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was also very unpleasant for me.
Yeah, it's a hard position to play, I think. I also haven't seen it before. I didn't really figure out where the pieces should go, but yeah, it's like just develop something instead of playing a3. So I don't know. Okay, that's again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do. It was difficult. But yeah, it's you know, you try, you learn.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's nice to like play some positions like this because the character is just so god awful boring.
But now 2 out of 2 with f3, so.
Yeah, actually like super great attacking games too, you know?
Yeah, so it looks like you found your defense against it.
Yeah, now I need to like sharpen up the repertoire.
Yeah, maybe learn some theory, I guess, yeah. So,
yeah.
Okay. So, excited for the next game? Probably facing some IM or GM even?
I don't like to face a strong player now. I don't know, like it's like I lost 1.5 points and the strong player probably lost their points against a stronger player, and you know, like I don't know. I'm just overthinking it, but yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just glad I finished somewhat early so I can get some good rest. I was
Yeah.
so tired. Did you see me like sleep at the board?
Maybe, I don't know. I didn't notice
I
that
was
much.
like, I was like sleeping. Okay, I was not properly sleeping, but I just like closed my eyes and I'm just like, I'm not there. I was very tired.
Okay, so
But okay.
guess we'll leave you to
Yeah.
rest then, and
Yes,
we'll be
I'm gonna
back.
head off. I'll see where I go. I don't have anything to record a recap here, so I'll just do that later tonight, I guess. But yeah,
So,
thanks for commentating.
another double recap
Thanks so
coming,
much.
right?
And yeah, another double round. Yeah.
So yeah.
Hopefully no lava this time.
So yeah, see you
Yeah.
guys in the evening.
Yeah, thanks, Chat. I'm so sorry for not looking at chat. I have my phone right here, but I just didn't know. I just got too much into the chess. But I'll catch you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, guys. So that was Anna. We left her off to rest, and I'm also gonna close the stream. So mods, you can raid whoever. Again, congrats to Anna for her win. Congrats also to Nordi for his first win. Hope he keeps the pace up. And yeah, enjoy Hannah's stream. And yeah, see you guys in little less than 4 hours. So bye bye. Bye bye, guys.